And as usual, this is kind of like, I mean, it was supposed to be the Friday Night Live, but I guess we'll call it
That's Saturday Night
the
Live.
the early morning Saturday morning live. So we're getting it in, trying to get a good little rhythm here going on True School Sports. But it is your boy BT. I'm here with my dad once more, reporting to you live and direct from Miami, Florida. It's currently 12:46 a.m. over here. We always have a lot to talk about, a lot of things to touch on. Before we get into the main idea and the main topic of what this live is about, which is the Chris Manix podcast that he did today. Big shout out to Chris Manix. He talked to Billy Wagner, who is the executive vice president of programming and scheduling for PBC on Fox. A lot of gems and insight were dropped onto how PBC is moving. So we're going to touch on that. But before we get into that, just wanted to get to some programming reminders and things like that. Programming reminder for not this week, but the following weekend. We're going to have two, yes, not one, but two live fight reactions. One in the afternoon for Candle Smith versus John Ryder, and then another one at night for Deontay Wilder versus Louis Ortiz. So make your plans accordingly, and it should be a fun time. On November the 23rd, right? 23rd? Yeah. So that's that. Another quick program a reminder. 2.5 weeks from right now, I will be in the UK. December the 4th, I'll be in the UK. For how long, I don't know, but I anticipate that it'll be over a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe half a year. We don't know. We don't know how long I'm going to be in the UK, but I think it'll be for some good time. So if you're in the UK and you want to get up with your boy BT, you let me know. You give me a shout on Twitter. You give me a shout on the Instagram, even here, and we will definitely link up and have a great time. Now, let me see something quickly. If you're on YouTube, get your link.
Fighting Mad t-shirts.
Fighting Mad t-shirts. Absolutely.
Support the channel, please.
Support the channel. Also, for those of you who are watching, I would like to know where you guys are watching from. So if you could be so kind to drop the city, state, continent that you're streaming from, please do that, and I will give you a shout out. Just do a quick little roll call. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Let me know. Smash that like button if you haven't done so already. We got my main man, Phantom Brawler. Haven't heard from you in a minute, Alex. How you been, champ? Phantom Brawler is here. Henry Brown. Yo, Henry Brown. This has nothing to do with boxing, and thank you for the $2 super chat. He says Wilder has to get past Ortiz first. Henry Brown, do you watch Coach Greg Adams? Because I'll be watching his channel, and I keep hearing him say, Henry Brown, Henry Brown, Henry Brown. I'm like, is this the same Henry Brown that I got in my lives? Let me know, Henry. Is that you that watches Coach Greg Adams? Shout out to Coach Greg Adams, by the way. That has nothing to do with boxing, but shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Yeah, man. Insanity. But got Chicago in the building. We got the Philippines in the building. Okay. So we're represented as usual here on True School Sports. What else we got?
We got a lot of things going on. A lot of, like I said, we got the next 2 weeks. We got the fights coming up. We have another card that I'm interested in besides the Harrison and Charlo 2 rematch is I like Ringdo. Ringdo is fighting in the bantamweight. It was a while back, but I want Ringdo. When you guys starts against some Solis from Mexico.
Solis, yeah, Solis. I saw that.
So
I saw that.
For the vacant bantamweight title, and see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's just jump into it. So, today I was just patrolling the internet. I was having a nice day. I was enjoying a lot of just. I live in Miami, so this is great. Like, I still can't believe we actually live in Miami, a decent part of Miami. So it's pretty dope. But I was just exploring my neighborhood, and then I went to Starbucks, and I was on the computer. And I was looking at like all the different boxing content coming out, and I came across Chris Manix, Sports Illustrated writer, Yahoo Sports. He's got decades in this game, and I actually came across his podcast, which I'd never watched before. I never had a chance to watch the Chris Manix podcast, or listen to the Chris Manix podcast, I should say. And this one was pretty interesting because today on this show, and if you guys didn't get a chance to hear it, the podcast link to Chris Manix's podcast today. I left it in the link in the description, so go check it out. He had Bill Wagner, who was the executive vice president of programming and scheduling for PBC on Fox. So a pretty fancy sounding title. You know, if you told me, if I didn't know you, Dad, and you said you were the executive vice president of programming and scheduling, I would say, damn, this dude's legit.
Yeah, man.
This dude's going places.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes the name doesn't even fit the personality. But go ahead.
Absolutely. So I heard that, and so I decided to tune in and listen. And this podcast gave myself and all who listen to it some great insight as to what's going on with the PBC, how they're thinking going forward, how they're thinking in terms of all that stuff. She asked, what does his title mean? His title basically, I know it's fancy. There's a lot of things. It's, you know, he's basically the guy that schedules and works on with the programming that you see on television here in America for box on PBC. That's all it really means, even though it sounds fancy. But I think the podcast is very good because Chris Manix asked a tough question. So big shouts out to Chris Manix. Yeah. And we got a lot of insight into what's true and what's not with PBC, because we hear a lot of rumors. We've heard things about like PBC titles and them not believing in the WBC. Scoot over that. Get in the shot. We've heard things about the PBC not looking at the WBO as a legitimate title, and it was pretty much validated here. So we're gonna dissect what was said piece by piece, brick by brick here on True School Sports. Now, when I heard this guy Bill Wagner, you know that name right there, Bill Wagner, he just sounds like a company man, you know. And it's funny because we called Chris Manix a company man in our lives. Yeah, a lot of times. But the company man was interviewing a real company man. He seemed to be like a guy that's just carrying out the PBC agenda. Like they got a full court press in how they're thinking and how they're gonna move. Yeah. And depending on how you view PBC, how you view Haymon, you know, it's a good thing or bad thing for boxing. But here are my takeaways from the podcast. So, Wagner. The main thing I want to get to was this, okay? Wagner revealed in the podcast with Chris Manix today that PBC is actively looking and seeking to create their own version of a title, a PBC title. Now, this is not like a new thing, because the PBC this actually I remember this very well. When PBC first started, this was a rumor floating around back in 2015, 2016. So this isn't new. The only difference between now and then is that, like, in certain weight classes, PBC has a lot more of the fighters. You know, right now as it stands, PBC has Deontay Wilder, and then PBC also has Ruiz. Right. And if Wilder and Ruiz win their next fights, Wagner actually said this. He said this. I'm not making this shit up. He said that they will make a PBC title.
Unreal.
And I could look at, you know, you could probably be looking at Wilder fighting Ruiz in a unification fight, potentially for the undisputed, with the PBC belt included. And if they're able to get this through, you know, the fighters could, being Wilder and Ruiz, could be a legitimate factor towards legitimizing a belt, that belt. What do you think?
Wow, it's just crazy. Just added more to the confusion. And one of the things that I got from Chris Manix asking is, well, if you so-called create this new PBC belt, are you guys just gonna fight among yourselves for the belts, or are you gonna go out of the environment, or out of the fight for the other champions in the other organizations? And that's a big question. I mean, that really startled me a lot that they're even gonna come out with something like that. Just added to more of the confusion that caught my eye on that.
Absolutely. Let's get to some super chats. Thank you, Henry Brown, for sponsoring the video. Henry Brown, man, he's just showing love.
Thank you, man.
On all the super chats. He responded to my other question. He said, "Yes, I watch and sponsor a bunch of videos on Coach Greg Adams. I got a MGTOW song I'm producing as well, but yeah, that's my boy. Yo, that's my boy too. Coach Greg Adams is the plug. That's like one of my favorite YouTube channels. I gotta watch it every day.
Red pill.
You gotta take them red pills every day, because you know, as you know, Henry,
he's teaching me about some stuff.
That peace leaf is a hell of a drug, man. So we gotta stay woke, as the youngins would say in these streets. But yeah, shout out to Coach Greg Adams, even though he has nothing to do with boxing. Yeah. All that stuff. Henry Brown also had another super chat, $2 super chat. He says, "To my knowledge, PBC means one champ undisputed." What do you make of that, Dad? Like, what do you make of PBC meaning one champ undisputed? Is that realistic with so many sanctioning bodies and belts?
The way things are now, it's not like back in the day where one champion had one belt and that was it. The champion had that one belt. Now you have belts coming from all over. You don't know what. It's like being in the jungle and having different kinds of trees and vegetation and everything. You just don't know which is the most ripe fruit to grab from.
Absolutely.
The same thing is with all these belts.
One thing that I really took from the Chris Manix podcast with Bill Wagner, Executive Vice President of Programming and Scheduling for PBC on Fox.
Yeah.
What a title. He actually validated a rumor that many of us have heard through the grapevine, which is that PBC fighters are not fighting for the WBO title, that the PBC is pretty much trying to freeze out the WBO title. And Wagner lied. Wagner actually, he acknowledged this himself. And this is a guy that, you got to understand why this is significant. This is a guy that's working directly with Al Haymon. He's very much plugged into Al Haymon. He has seen from Al Haymon. He has heard from Al Haymon. I would even venture as far as to say that he probably talks to Al Haymon probably more than the majority of his fighters. And Wagner actually said that the PBC isn't acknowledging the WBO title, and that they're only going to recognize the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. And he said this in the context of why, because Chris Manix asked him, why is it that PBC in the broadcast that they're going out of the way to not acknowledge Terence Crawford as a top guy? And that was the context in which this was said in. So what did you make of that when you heard that?
I mean, I think it's crazy. You're not going to give no credit to somebody like Crawford as being, he was undisputed, and he's very tough contender in the 147 and the belt that he has. And I think another point that you brought up too was that he actually lied and said that he didn't have no boxes in one section of boxes.
Yes, he actually, Wagner lied right through his teeth, told a bold-ass face lie on the podcast. He said that, I quote, he said, there's no PBC fighters ranked in the WBO. So I went, I want to say maybe this Wagner guy's onto something.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed the point.
Yeah.
I missed the boat because I got these thick bifocals. Sometimes you don't quite see everything.
That's
so
true.
I went ahead and I looked at the WBO rankings and I found not one, as LeBron James would say, not one, not two, but 3 fighters ranked in the top 10 of the WBO. You got Danny Garcia right now sitting at number 3 ranked in the WBO. You got Sergey Lipinets ranked number 4 in the WBO.
Yeah.
You got Manny Garcia ranked number 10 in the WBO. So that's 3 fighters. 3 fighters right there.
It was crazy.
Ranked by the WBO. And it was weird listening to the podcast because he had like this strange obsession and just like this anti-WBO rhetoric. Now, I don't mean, look, I don't, like, listen, I'm going to pair it with Chris Manix said. I hate all these sanctioning bodies. They all suck to me. Like, I think they're all bad. They're all money-hungry parasites. But I don't understand what the obsession with the WBO is as opposed to other belts. And you guys in the comments, you let me know if there's a reason for this obsession. There's only one I can think of.
And then, I don't know, I don't want to take you a little the topic, but he did come out and say that Fury wasn't successful.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then another thing that was said in this.
How can you be executive and not know what's going on?
Okay. There was another thing he said that I thought was funny.
Crazy.
So Wagner was asked about Deontay Wilder and the potential for a Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder rematch, and Wagner stated that Wilder is the WBC champ and that all fighters, all people, must come to him. Okay. So there's that.
It's crazy.
Then he told another bold-faced lie, and this is one that I can personally confirm.
Yeah.
He says that Wilder, I quote, sells out arenas all across America.
And
I've been to, listen, I'm not like most Wilder fans. I've actually paid money and went to Wilder. I went to Wilder's to Burn too. And listen, the whole upper deck, with the exception of like 5 rows, one of them which I was sitting in.
Right. Is it?
Was sectioned off.
Crazy.
It was sectioned off, and that was it. You had a third of the arena that was empty in New York City at the Barclays Center. So you telling a bold-faced lie.
He said that Wilder made Fury famous.
He said Wilder made Fury famous. And the funny thing was, like, I remember watching that Fury fight, and you guys go back and watch it. The last I checked, I remember a huge contingent of British fans in that crowd singing. They were the loudest ones in the room.
Listen, the proof of the pudding. If you ask somebody who Tyson Fury is in the United States today and who's Bronze Bomber, I guarantee you 95% will know Tyson Fury more than Bronze Bomber. I'll just leave it like that. This guy, I don't know why he's smoking, what he ate, or what he's doing. He was not making sense in a lot of things he was telling Chris Manix.
Exactly. So when I look at what's going on with Al Haymon and the PBC and this PBC belt that they're looking to create.
Yeah.
I look at it as pretty much Al Haymon and the PBC trying to force the hand of boxing to gain momentum, to freeze Top Rank out, because let's have it right. We know that the majority of the time, the fighters who are holding that WBO title are Top Rank fighters.
Yeah.
Majority of the time it is, and it's no different in the welterweight division. So it's just a ploy to do that.
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be an executive, a big dog, a director, whatever you want to call it, you need to get your facts straight before you come out here and talk.
Facts.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not as knowledgeable as maybe a lot of your fans are. I know a little bit of boxing, but I can tell you one thing: I knew more than what he was talking about today, and that's saying a lot for me because I got PTSD and I got a bad memory.
I mean, there was just so much to unpack with that, but I want to get to another. Okay. Man, Henry Brown, man. Henry Brown with the $5 super chat.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Henry Brown.
Thank you, Henry Brown. God
major
bless
love.
you.
He says, check out Coach Greg Adams' Money live stream, I believe at 3 p.m. Plus. We have a video coming out soon on Men's Health Plus. Yo, shout out to Coach Greg Adams out here putting on for all the men out there. He's helped me out tremendously after I went through that shambolic, I guess breakup from last year. So shout out to Coach Greg Adams. He's helped me.
Helping actually understand a lot of things in relationships about the other half. And I'm 51 years old. And
Red pilling the hell out of everyone.
And I thought that I knew everything. Guess what I was doing?
Taking notes.
I was taking notes and reading the free agent book.
That's right.
Thank you, Greg Adams.
But then he also said, plus, has Al Haymon real? Has anyone seen him? Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know if you've heard me say this, Henry Brown, but you know, one of my good, I'm gonna call him one of my good friends, because we become good friends over the course of a couple of weeks, and we got some stuff we're working on. Many of you may or may not know Isaac Chamberlain. You know, good domestic level British fighter. I think he's good enough to break into the world level and become a world champion one day, because he's a talented fighter. I had that loss along to Coley.
Yeah.
But I've been spending a lot of time on Isaac Chamberlain because he's been training here down in Miami, and Isaac recently signed with Al Haymon, so I had a lot of questions for him. And I recently asked Isaac Chamberlain. I asked him, and I said, "Yo, Isaac, you're signed with Al Haymon now. You know, is he real?" Like I actually did an interview with him. I'm gonna drop it at some point. I said, "Yo, is Al Haymon real?" And Isaac looked me in my eye. And he told me,
"Oh my God!"
And this is a fighter that's signed to Al Haymon.
It's crazy.
He told me. He said, "I haven't even talked to Al Haymon. I've only talked to his assistant Sylvia." So, you know. Sometimes even the fighters don't see Al Haymon, so it's very very telling stuff of what's going on with Al.
I call Al Haymon the Charlie's Angels voice. Remember Charlie's Angels, where they had to talk to a voice and you never see the person? The same exact thing with his fighters. Only certain fighters see him, some certain fighters don't. But just to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, like my son has, it's like it really validates a lot of things about him. Not disrespecting Al Haymon or PBC, we're just telling you what's going on.
Another thing that was discussed on that podcast between, it's just fun to say his title because it's funny. Yeah. Bill Wagner, he was interviewed by Chris Manix, and he is the Executive Vice President of Programming and Scheduling for PBC on Fox.
Yeah.
He said this, and this is in regards to Jamal Charlo. Now, he said that they're working to get Jamal Charlo's bouts on other platforms before returning to Fox. He also insisted that PBC and Fox have 99% of the top fighters and are self-sufficient, saying that Errol Spence has many foes before needing to fight Terence Crawford. Now, that's insane. He stated, this is the guy that's actively working with Al Haymon. So
crazy.
They're putting on the full court press. This is the PBC agenda.
Yeah.
He pretty much basically said in his own words that Errol Spence is gonna fight everybody within the PBC stable before he even thinks about fighting Terence Crawford. Right. So if you're someone who wants to see Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, if you're someone that wants to see an undisputed heavyweight champion, this is not good news. This is not good news for boxing fans. And it makes that, for me personally, it makes that Joshua Ruiz rematch, it's just another storyline because literally the control of the heavyweight division, because boxing, the business of boxing, it's a constant tug of war. The control of the heavyweight division hinges on that fight, because if Joshua is able to win and beat Ruiz, then all of a sudden he becomes a unified champion again. He's the guy that's selling out Wembley Stadium and he's back in the driver's seat of boxing. And if Ruiz wins, then all of a sudden
we don't know,
the PBC heavyweight title's coming out along with the other million titles in boxing.
So I mean, like I'm gonna say again, I mean, I don't know what why they're doing this, why BBC's coming out with this. And if that's the case, I want Josh to win anyways when he fights Ruiz. So I hope more of the reason, more so now for him to win the fight, because I don't want no more confusion. Whatever it's called, confusion with heavyweight belts. I'm just tired of it. I'm lucky I can remember the WBO, WBC, WBA, IBF, and IBO.
It takes some time. It takes people sometimes just to remember that. So now,
yeah, man,
it's getting crazy. And then what's funny is like, there's actually smaller belts that you guys probably aren't familiar with. You have like the NBA title, the UBF, the WBF, all that stuff. So that's what it is. Let's get to some of these super chats. And listen, guys. Me and my dad are just gonna continue talking. So if you really want your message read, you do what your boy Henry Brown's doing. Henry Brown will get his message read. He's super chat. He's showing support.
Thank you, but even so, we're still here.
But we're here. We'll get to the comments. Henry Brown says, "Yo, that's like some Marvel comic stuff, hidden hand," and he's talking about Al Haymon and how even some of his fighters don't have that open line of communication with him.
Like, how do you like? It's like when you sign anything, an important document, whether it's for the government or for whatever the case may be. I was always told I need to read the document, understand who's behind it, and meet the person face to face.
Facts.
You're not gonna see that with Al Haymon all the time.
Facts. Another super chat from Henry Brown. Jesus.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Come December the 14th, Crawford will demolish Mean Machine. Watch. Ask Bomac. We never coming back. We never coming whack. The whole division getting smacked. Dipset Santana. Hey, okay. Henry Brown with the bars.
Yes, sir.
With the bars. That's a good fight. You know what? Terence Crawford. He's fighting Kavaluskas, right? Kavaluskas, and that should be really an interesting fight. So I'm looking forward to seeing what. It'll be good to see Terence Crawford back in the ring. I mean, unfortunately, it's not against the creme de la division, but Kavaluskas is still somebody somewhat formidable, even though he fought Ray Robinson to a draw. So
I'm like this with Terence Crawford. I mean, he's getting the short end of the stick.
Yes.
I don't understand. I'm not saying that's what's happening. He's getting black ball or black male, whatever black ball, whatever it is. But he's done his due. He's gone in the ring and shown how important he is, how competitive he is, and how he can beat somebody. He's a true champion in his own way. Why don't people give him his respect? I think it's actually, I'll be honest with you, I think Bob Arum's got a lot of pull. He's got to go ahead and push for a lot of the fight for Terence Crawford, because he's doing his part in the ring.
Absolutely. We got another $2 Brown with the super chats, but he said this, and I know you're gonna have a lot to say about this, Dad. He said, as an Air Force veteran, we need a Veterans Month. What do you think?
You talking about the director? Him? He needs to get his head checked out first and get the facts straight based on what the PBC is gonna do and what he's thinking they're gonna do. And
no. He said they need a Veterans Month. He's an Air Force veteran. He's saying,
I would love that. I would love that. I would love for them to have something like that. I would love to, however, any way they could promote veterans and even the fighters. Like we just had, what's his name that just won the other weekend? The Marine,
Herring.
Yeah, the Marine won.
Horrible, boring ass fight.
Kudos to all veterans all over the world, whether here in the United States, in England, China, Japan, the Philippines, Scotland, wherever you guys come and see us all over the world. They all deserve due respect, because if it wasn't for us veterans, a lot of people won't be able to have what they have today.
Facts. Okay. Now it's your boy BT. We got my dad here. We're talking about what I had a chance to hear today on the Chris Manix podcast.
Yeah.
Just some key takeaways. Just kind of reviewing again, because we've been live for 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Bill Wagner, the executive vice president of programming and scheduling for PBC on Fox, he was interviewed by Chris Manix today, and he said that PBC is actively seeking to create their own title, which could be in 2020. So I'm expecting that. He also addressed why PBC is publicly shunning Terence Crawford, as they are not acknowledging the WBO title, because it's not one of the titles that's recognized, supposedly. And then
it's crazy.
He also said that Deontay Wilder sells out arenas across America, and that all heavyweights must come to him. So that's where we're at. That's what it is, boxing fans. I mean, and there's really no two ways about it when we talk about PBC and Al Haymon.
But I don't know if you want to talk about that other fight that's going to come up on December 21st with Charlo and.
Oh no, we're gonna get into that.
Okay,
we're gonna get into that.
But I mean, I just think that if you're gonna, my whole issue with that is, I totally disagree with his mental, how he's thinking about the Crawford situation, And I'm gonna say I think Bob Evans he's got a lot of pull with all this. He's gonna have to do something for Terence Crawford. He's got to pull for the fighters that need to be up there because a lot of times you have. According to PBC, has all these fighters from the WBA, blah, 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 whatever. And then, so what's the purpose of having a belt if you are supposed to a champion belt, whatever section you're from, and you can't go and defend it with the best of the best? So how can PBC say, oh, I have the best fighters here, when you're not fighting the other fighters from over here?
Well, they said that. I mean, Bill Wagner said that PBC has. In fact, he didn't just say it. He insisted. He insisted that PBC, not only are they doing big things, but he said that PBC has 99% of the top fighters in boxing. Do you agree with that statement, Dad?
Hell no.
Well,
I don't think they don't have the.
They don't.
And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what kind of coffee.
Top Rank has the best fighters in boxing.
Top Rank. You're right. My son's telling that. You got Top Rank. You got every promotional company that has some legitimate boxes that someone can either go to the PBC fighters and clear some of the weights out.
If you want to be honest, the best fighter PBC has on its stable is probably Manny Pacquiao. What do you think? Who do you think is the best? I want you guys in the comments. Answer in the comments. Who is the best fighter that PBC has in their stable? Personally, I think it's Manny Pacquiao. I know some people might argue Deontay Wilder because of the title defenses, and the longevity. But truthfully, Manny Pacquiao is probably the only fighter who you can say, no doubt about it, is a pound for pound fighter.
And not only that, Manny Pacquiao is a cash cow wherever he goes.
Everywhere
he's gonna make money for the PBC, whether you want to see it or not. Whoever he fights with, that's how popular he is among people all over the world. So I mean, he's a legend in the sport already, and PBC got the upper hand on that.
I think Henry Brown, and he can hit us with another
Thank you, Henry.
$2 super chat.
Bless you.
He said this, man. He said, and this might be his answer to our question, which is, the truth is that Adam Kaunaki is unifying the heavyweight division. What? No, it's like a joke we have. It's a joke we have every time it comes on here.
Yeah. I mean,
we've already gone over this.
Man.
We've already gone over this, Henry.
Yeah.
Adam Kaunaki, once he step up, he's gonna get beaten.
Listen,
like he stole something.
He didn't want to. He turned out to fight. Who was supposed to fight?
Anthony Joshua.
And he turned it down when he had an opportunity.
Facts.
So he wanted to go to Burger King or go to McDonald's, eat cheeseburgers all day instead of going out there and losing that weight against having a chance to go ahead and win the belt. And he didn't do it against Joshua. So after that, I really lost like all respect for him.
All right, so before we switch gears, we're gonna talk a little bit about Tony Harrison.
Okay.
And Charlo, because I know that's what a lot of people want to talk about right now. Well, what are your final thoughts on the whole statement from Bill Wagner?
I mean,
on the Chris Manix podcast today.
From Bill Wagner being a director, it shows me how lost everybody is in PBC boxing as far as communication within the boxing community within themselves. For him to be a director and be able to talk like that, it just gives me that sort of feeling that the communication barrier is broken down all the way along the way, and eventually it's going to be PBC's fault. And having a guy in that, I mean, I'll take the title, and I can tell you more about boxing, to be honest, than that guy right there. So for me, it just showed me that PBC is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Facts.
If they don't get their things right. And that belt thing, we don't need no more. We have enough belts as it is. Please, no more.
The great Kanye West once had a song called Power. He said, "No one man should have all that power."
There you go.
And I'm gonna echo his sentiments right here. You know, I think, listen, PBC does do some things right. Like I like the fact that, you know, at least here in America, when it comes to their big fights, they know how to culturally, you know, make their fights relevant and promote their fights. But as for this, I just think it's gonna add to more confusion in boxing. Confusion we don't need. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But let's get to some comments before we move on to Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo and what was said in the press conference yesterday.
Right.
Let's move on to some comments. Okay, let's scroll up. We got let's see, Ricky Buckner, or Bruner, I should say. Ricky Bruner asked, who do you think wins out of Charlo and Tony Harrison? What do you think?
I'll be honest with you. I think Charlo has the power, but I think Tony has the smarts to outsmart him again and win again.
Again, okay. Do you think we'll get into it later? I'm gonna just to answer the question straight up. I'm gonna go with Tony Harrison winning a close. Cause I think he probably will get dropped this time.
Yeah.
because just because Tony Harrison, if you watch his fights, he tends to fade down the stretch sometimes.
Right.
A lot of the time, actually, and I just think you're gonna get an aggressive Charlo, and I don't see him stopping.
Well, you're gonna have that because Charles always had the power. They always say sometimes you gotta be humble, whether it's boxing, whatever case. You can't have everything perfect. You're gonna have sometimes something in the road that's gonna be a stump in the road, and it's gonna teach you a lesson. And I think what Charles learned from this lesson was you don't take nobody lightly as an opponent. And dominate a fight that you should have been doing from the beginning. But doing all that talking, all that showboating paid off, and I think this time he's going to be more hungry to devastate this guy. And the downfall is, like you always say, you always tell me what mental is more than
Yes, boxing is a mental sport.
Yeah,
it's a mental and spiritual sport.
Right, and it's more than physical. And believe me, I was watching those interviews, and let me tell you, Harrison is living, and Charlo's dreaming every night of his worst nightmare when he fights Harrison this time around.
There you have it. Okay. Emilio X, shout out to Emilio. Loyal viewer, got mad love for Emilio. Emilio says, what PBC are trying to do with the belt is like what UFC is doing with their title. What do you guys think of Dana White's Zuffa boxing coming? Now, I'm going to answer that. I've been waiting for Zuffa boxing to come for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the first time I heard about this was like early 2018,
Yeah,
late.
Zuffa?
It's his company.
Okay.
So it's like Dana White has made his intentions known that he plans to get into boxing promotions and management and whatnot, and that's his company, Zuffa Boxing.
Okay.
And really, nothing's truly happened with Zuffa Boxing yet. So listen, I'm excited to see it. I actually interviewed Eddie Hearn in December of 2017, and he said back in 2017 when I interviewed him that Dana White. That he's open to working with Dana White when he comes to boxing. So I'm just waiting to see it happen.
That's what I'm gonna say.
And I think it'll actually be, it could be good for the sport because I feel like Dana White doing what he's done with UFC.
Yeah.
He understands marketing, he understands promotion, and that's a lot of things that these promoters don't understand: marketing, promotion, making sure that you get the fans invested in not just the main event but all the fights in the card.
And what better way to have two different sports come together as one and bring attention to both sports, and they both, it's like both eating from the same plate, same food,
Yes.
and filling their stomach up and bringing attention to both sports.
Correct. All right, moving on to SSB28. Shout out to SSB28. He said, Al Haymon definitely is educated in the management in the school system. There are certain schools that teach certain styles of management, and Al Haymon is using that. Yeah, he's a very intelligent man. You know, I believe he's, I think he went to Harvard. Just crackling bright man. You can't say enough about how bright he is.
Yeah.
What I would say is just that.
And besides boxing, my son was telling me that he also did a lot. He has companies that run concerts and all.
Well, that's where he made his money.
Events.
Al Haymon is big in the music industry. That's why you got Drake on his songs talking about I get Al Haymon checks because that's where he made his money. And you know, he does because I forgot the name of the company.
Right.
But his company puts on shows like when these big acts go on tour like Michael Jackson and Drake and Lil Wayne and since like the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, his company is the one that puts on the events. So that's where he made his name. That's why everyone knows that Al Haymon is outside of boxing, behind the scenes. He's probably one of the biggest behind the scenes guys there is.
And he's probably one calling the shots on how to promote fights just because he knows how to promote the events.
There you have it. So, Henry Brown with another $5 super chat. Hey, shout out to Henry Brown.
Bless you, Henry Brown.
This video is sponsored by Henry Brown. Pound for pound, Crawford is number one. Then Joe Joyce will sleep Usyk. Then Daniel Dubois will flatline Wilder. Also, Charlo, or Charlotte, but I think you mean Charlo. Has no chance if Darnell Boone dropped down. So listen, man, my man Henry Brown. Okay, so Crawford being pound for pound number one.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. You know, I think Crawford has an argument to be number one. I personally would probably have him number 2 or 3 on my list. I got the monster Inoue pound for pound number one right now as it stands. But I ain't mad at Crawford being number one. He says then Joe Joyce will sleep Usyk. I don't think so.
Wow.
And then Daniel Dubois will flatline Wilder. You know, I'll say this.
Dubois,
I'll say this.
George,
if Wilder is still around in boxing, Wilder can't recently said that he has 6 more years and he's out. If Wilder is still around after Dubois gets about 6 more fights, I think I'm actually gonna agree with that part.
Yeah.
Because Dubois, Dubois might actually wind up being better than Joshua because he's more polished than Joshua. I think he's got better power than Joshua.
Right.
He's got better fundamentals than Joshua. He's just not exciting. I mean, the guy has the personality of this pillow right here.
Right.
You know, so he's not gonna have the crossover appeal of Joshua.
Yeah.
But in terms of fighting, in terms of the things that matter in the ring, the jab, the straight right hand, the hook. I think he's a total package.
And he's
for
pretty
heavyweights in the
strong
ring.
too. He's no joke. He's fighting a Japanese. Dubois fighting some Japanese guy. A couple months.
Kayotaro Fujimoto.
Yeah,
That's who he's fighting.
But he really wants the big fights also. So
Yep.
I told you, BT, 6 more fights. I think that the engine's already tuned up. Just put him on the road and run it.
Absolutely. So that's just what it is. Would fighters, and this is from my main man, he says, would fighters sign with Dana White? Doesn't he underpay his fighters?
He does.
Yes,
Yes, he does.
He's very
He
known
does.
for that.
Yeah.
That's why
Wow.
Jorge, how do you say, Matavicio, Masvidal,
The
Jorge
Cuban guy
Masvidal. That's why he wants to fight Canelo, because maybe Canelo and Cole had to wait for him.
Yeah.
But guess what?
They got
Canelo
paid.
was waiting at the bank,
Yeah.
cashing that check.
Yeah,
Because
so
Canelo made like
no.
$35 million for that fight.
Yeah.
Masvidal only made $500,000 for that fight.
Yeah,
Only
I mean,
five-
they
that's chump change.
But they've been saying that a lot of UFC fighters, and this is where I get at. People are saying that the UFC is more popular, gets all this attention and everything. But honestly, this guy's Dana White is shortchanging his own people that are making his money, his own athletes. Just imagine what he would do to boxers.
Facts. 100% facts. Henry Brown says, another super chat from Henry Brown, Jesus.
Thank you.
Watch Joe Joyce versus Usyk's amateur fight. Joyce rocked him. That's one of those fights I gotta watch because they fought in the World Series of Boxing.
I'm like this on that. I'll let you talk to me. I'm glad that a lot of fighters do amateurs and they did this and that, but that's in the amateurs. That's in the.
Well, actually,
like
technically it wasn't amateurs. Technically it was semi-pro because they fought in the World Series of Boxing.
Okay, fine, but still, I like to judge a person. I mean, both fighters are growing up. Both fighters have come up. Usyk totally dominated the cruiserweight. He's coming to the heavyweight. So, me personally, I can't go by that. Me and my son, I'm arguing this all the time.
What?
About fighters having amateur fights. I don't believe in that. I believe more that.
So I always tell my dad this. Okay, I tell my dad there's exceptions to the rules, but generally speaking, like 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
a fighter will fight whatever level amateur he was.
Right.
He'll be somewhere around that in the pros. That's why when promoters want to sign someone,
Yeah.
what are they looking for? They're looking for the Olympians, looking for the gold medalists,
Yeah.
they're looking for the 35-time national champions and things like that. Now that doesn't mean they're going to be good pros because Andy
Yeah.
Harrison won a gold medal and he didn't amount to anything in the pros. But generally that's how it goes.
But based on what Henry Brown is telling you, based on an amateur fight, would you also agree with him if they fought today?
I mean, I haven't watched that fight, so I haven't.
Right.
I don't know.
But-
I haven't watched it. It's been on my to-do list for a while. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, since you're really a big straight shooter to looking at all amateur fights and you said certain guys.
I mean, Dillian White beat
Yeah.
Dillian White beat Anthony Joshua in the
That's-
amateurs. So
Right. So I'm just saying. So you right now you want to agree or disagree with Henry Brown? What he told you about that?
I'm indifferent. I don't really have an opinion either way because
Yeah.
I haven't watched that fight.
Yeah.
Personally, though, I would favor Usyk though because Usyk to me is the better fighter. But listen,
Walker's tall,
styles
too, right?
make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights. And while Joe Joyce, I'm gonna call him slow-mo. While slow-mo
Yeah.
might not have the skill set of Usyk, he has the power, he has the smarts,
Yeah.
he has the amateur pedigree to give Usyk a tough fight. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past Joe Joyce, but I would slightly favor
I mean,
Usyk.
but let's give credit to Joe Joyce too. He has had 13, 14 fights or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. To me, that's pretty that's not really a lot of fights, and he's dominated all his fights.
Facts.
And he's called out Baby Miller. He's called out some other fighters. I forgot who else he called out. So, I mean, he is his one tough customer. That'd be tough for Usyk, I think so. Don't underestimate him.
Well, switching gears, I'm going to get back to you guys' comments. So if you made a comment, I will get to it. But people wanted to know, let's talk about Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo.
Wow.
Jermell Charlo versus Tony Harrison. The first fight, I remember I was live for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, the fight itself wasn't the most entertaining affair. But Tony Harrison did outbox
Right.
Jermell Charlo. What did you make of the verbal onslaught that Tony Harrison just laid out on Jermell Charlo?
I mean, what he did in the second, the press conference to the second fight coming, and what he did before, he totally punked.
Punked him?
He totally punked.
Like Ashton Kutcher punked him.
Yeah, the Charlo. I mean, he was just coming out and telling him, you step up here, and we all know that boxing is a game, mind game. I'm saying as far as when he's talking. So what I'm getting at is Harrison, to me, totally. I mean, Charlo, all he kept reading back about in the past.
Yep.
Talk about the present, son. Get over that loss. The bottom that you got your butt kicked. It was a close fight. You didn't win it. You need to move on and concentrate on this. But that's going to be his downfall in the second fight.
My favorite line came after the press conference. When he said, and he made some basketball references. So for my basketball fans out there, you'll understand this. Yeah. He said, he got a basic game. He's Andre Miller. He's Eric Snow. Listen, he called this man Eric Snow. Eric Snow used to go stand in the corner and let Allen Iverson dribble the ball 600 times and just wait for the ball in the corner to shoot a three-pointer when he was open.
Crazy.
That's all he did.
Yeah.
So I like that. But no, to me, Tony Harrison, it was verbal warfare. I think he's living in Jermell Charlo's head rent-free. And he's going to make Jermell Charlo so aggressive, and it might play into his hands. It might work against him, but it might also play into his hands. Because you got Jermell Charlo up there talking about, keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. So we'll see. I've always said myself, and like Jermell Charlo's whole WBC title run, I always thought he was overhyped. You know, when he fought John Jackson, who's not known for his boxing skills, was out boxing. You know, he fought Charles Hatley, who was on a 1.5-year layoff. Because, you know, every Don King fighter is on a 1.5-year layoff. Beat him. Then he fought Eric Lubin. Stopped him in a round. And I'm not going to lie, that's probably his best win because I thought Lubin wasn't getting problems, but then we found out that Lubin wasn't what we thought he was at the time. Got stopped. And he ran into the fighter whose style was all wrong for him, and I think it could be. I think this fight and this matchup could be one of those cases where it's all wrong for him. So,
one point I want to bring about that also is Harrison really got to say when he came out and said, "I even talked to your trainer, Derek James, and he don't like you either." And then I turned to another. I was watching him in another video, an interview with Charlo, and Charlo was like indirectly, he was saying, I don't know who to trust anymore. I guess I only can trust myself and God. So right there,
you did say that.
His head's all messed up. It's crazy.
So that's what it is. SSB28, getting to his comment, he said that like Haymon can't do the stuff he does with boxers, with rappers, because a lot of them would go crazy on him. This made him take a little step back in the rap game. I never thought of it like that, but I could see that because, man, rappers are crazy. I mean, my best friend in the world is a rapper, so I know I know exactly how these rappers are. I know how they think, and I know how they operate. You know, shout out to my boy Paul Wright 23 on the come up. He was just on the Sway in the Morning show. With the True School sports shirt on. But I can definitely see what you're saying. SSB 28. But yeah, Al Haymon, man, he was doing tours with like the OJs and Michael Jackson, and maybe even the Doobie Brothers, who I've been listening to a lot recently.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always like to see the guy.
Me too. And I always said, if I ever cover a PBC fight, if I meet Al Haymon, I'm making a video about it that same day. So be on the lookout for that. Not if it happens, when it happens.
Yeah.
Henry Brown says, Drake even said getting the Al Haymon checks. LOL. And I think Al Haymon wrote a check to bail out the national debt. Listen, right now, you know, right now with the you know, if there was somebody that could fix the deficit going on in our country, it's Al Haymon. And how crazy would it be? Could you imagine it? Could you imagine Al Haymon actually did that and like let's say you wrote a check and he erased the deficit, all that money owed to China. Imagine if Donald Trump was in the Oval Office and he thanked Al Haymon.
That's what I'm saying.
That should be wild.
Thank you, Al Haymon.
Thank you, Al Haymon.
Yeah.
Canelo earns more in one fight than McGregor did in his entire MMA career.
Wow.
That's right. And he didn't have to take elbows.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what it is. Emilio X says, my amateur boxing is more about speed and combinations. Pro is more about power punching and damage. Smart pressure, very different. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's why like someone like Amir Khan was. I mean, you got to think about it, man. Amateur boxing is about speed and scoring points. What is Amir Khan great at?
Speed.
And it's only 4 rounds. And we know this already. Amir Khan is the greatest 4-round fighter who ever lived. This guy is one of the greatest 4-round fighters ever lived. So he was probably unbeatable.
Right.
In the freaking amateurs. So and he won think it was silver or gold.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was silver or gold, but he medaled at the age 17 in the Olympics. So that tells you everything you need to know about the amateurs and the styles and things like that. Henry Brown says, what's up with a fight fantasy breakdown? I'm actually going to start doing this thing on my channel soon. I was just telling my dad about it. I got a couple fights I want to go and rewatch, so I'm going to do that. But yeah, I mean, I know we've had this conversation before, Henry, but we got to get to that. But, you know, there's so many things that, you know, there's so many different directions that are tugging your boy BT right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to the UK, right? I'm going to the UK, and then you got boxing news, and then I'm going to the gyms, and I got some other stuff behind the scenes in boxing that I'm getting my hands involved into for 2020. So we'll get to it at some point.
That'll be great though, because I've seen it in social media. I've seen different people bring that out of the fantasy boxers. You know, that's great to have. Just like a video game that you play, where you pick your favorite fighter from a different decade and fight another one. So I have to go with that. I agree with you, Henry Brown.
Absolutely. So yeah, that Charlo fight is gonna be really good when it happens. Let's see, what else did I talk about? What else we got?
Charlo.
Y'all feel free to suggest things to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. We have any more questions, go ahead and shoot it to us. There's a lot of things that was going on in boxing. What else were we talking about? PBC.
Henry Brown has a comment. He says, due to many deaths and brain injuries, they need to change the rules in boxing and maybe let the government have a hand in regulation mandatory steroid testing. I agree. You know, boxing, and listen, there's only 15 of you here right now, so I can talk to you guys. If you're here right now, you are a loyal subscriber / watcher / supporter of this channel. I had a fighter, and I said this before. I had a fighter, and he's a pretty talented fighter. He's not very well known, so you're not gonna know who this is. I guarantee you will not be able to guess who this is. But I had a fighter come up to me 6 months ago, and he actually said that if I ever decided to get into boxing management, that he will let me manage him. And this guy's a good fighter. And I'm really considering getting into boxing management next year. So I'm looking at how to go about that, and you know what avenues to take. And I really want to get into boxing management just for this fighter though, nobody else, just for this one fighter. And I have my doubts about getting into the boxing business because of the fact that it's not regulated. I know that the boxing business is pretty much the wild, wild west, where anything goes. So, you know, I agree. I think the government does need to step in and begin to regulate the boxing a bit more, so that the boxing and the business of it can have more oversight, so that it can have more integrity. And that's probably the biggest difference between here in America as opposed to somewhere like the UK, where you have the British Boxing Board of Control, which isn't perfect, and you know, shady things happen with the British Boxing Board of Control, but it's at a lot less of a clip than it is in America. So, you know, definitely, I would agree with you, Henry Brown. My main man Sheehy says, what do you think about, and I actually was going to ask about this fight, what do you think about Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Luis Nery? That'll be in the Wilder Ortiz 2 undercard. What do you think about that?
Well, that's a good fight, but I would take Nery
over Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Why?
I just like Nery. I like the way he fights. I always tell you, I like aggressiveness, and I think Luis Rodriguez is coming back from the loss, right? From the
he's come back from Hanoi, taking his soul and stripping him of his dignity.
PBC, so I mean, I think he's got to show me more. I love all my Puerto Rican fighters, but to me, I wanted him to do better. He didn't do it, so he's got to show me more. Another guy that I like was Puerto Rican too was Machado. Machado disappointed me too, so you got to show me more. But I think I'm gonna go with Nery.
I mean, I don't know. I really like Rodriguez. Like
I do too.
If he's fighting anybody but Inoue, I rate him. I really rate the guy because fantastic amateur, probably one of the most talented fighters from the island in boxing right now. So I mean, bit biased because, you know, being that I'm Puerto Rican and that's probably the cultural side of me I favor more. I mean, I identify as an American, but I'm saying you're Puerto Rican, which means I'm Puerto Rican. So generally, I want to see Puerto Rican fighters do good.
Amen.
He can beat Nery, but I'm not sure where he's going to be at mentally. Because when you get knocked out the way he did against Inoue, that's enough to strip you of your dignity and really change you for the rest of your career. So we're gonna really see how tough and how mentally strong he is. But I'm gonna favor Luis Nery to break him down, probably stop him in the middle of the later rounds. But I wouldn't rule out Rodriguez, you know, outpointing him. And I think it would really say a lot in a fight like that if Nery could do something like that. So we'll see what happens. She also asked, will they ever penalize Wilder for hammer punching and rabbit punching? No, I'm just gonna tell you straight away. No, that's not happening.
No.
Because remember, he was punching
there was some
Ortiz in the back of the head in the first fight.
Yeah, I've seen not just him. I've seen several fights before. I forgot which one it was where you literally see the guy like hitting him like right here, and the referee like doesn't say something. So if you can get away with it, I don't agree with it because it really dangers to either boxer.
Yep.
But I just think I don't know sometimes what the referees are looking at. They're not actually.
They're looking at their bank balance. They're looking at. They're looking at if that ACH check cleared. They're looking to see if the routing number. They got the routing number correct in the text message to Al Haymon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is, man.
Here's the boxing schedule.
We got Al the Pow. Shout out to Al the Pow. He
What's up,
says
Al the Pow?
Oscar and Miguel Burchell. Who do you have winning? Ooh, that's a fight right there. That is a fight and a half. Listen, Oscar Valdez, he's training with Eddie Reynoso, and Canelo is showing him some special tricks.
I am taking Burchell. Burchell's a beast, very aggressive Mexican fighter. I don't know why he hasn't got more.
Valdez is a very aggressive Mexican fighter.
Not. I'm telling you, he fights.
Valdez has to refine his style because every fight he's in is a war. What are you talking about?
It's a quiet warrior, but when he gets in that ring, he'll tear a new you know what. And I like Burchell.
I mean, I'm going with Burchell too, but we're not going to talk about Oscar Valdez like he's chopped liver.
No, I'm not saying he's chopped
like
liver.
Like he's not aggressive himself.
I've seen his training. I've seen everything about him. This isn't that. But I've always liked Burchell. I also like Valdez, but I favor Burchell more.
F it, I'm playing devil's advocate. Fuck it. We're going to go with Oscar Valdez outpointing him. Just to be different. Just to be different. But logically...
Out of the two, who do you think has the most power?
Who do I think has more power?
Yeah.
It's even.
No.
It's even. Valdez can punch.
I didn't say he can't.
Valdez can punch. Going to the body? Have you... Listen, I think you're underrating Valdez. When he throws... Al the Pow, he's even telling you Oscar Valdez has more power. I think you're underrating his power.
Okay.
You ain't watching enough Oscar Valdez. You ain't watching enough Oscar Valdez. Straight up.
I know the way he trains is hard. He's tough, but I'm gonna stick with
You're not paying attention to that left hook to the body.
Yeah.
Listen. Me, Al and Paul, me and you know what's good. Me and you know what's good. But they both got skills. They both are good fighters. I just hope it happens. Henry Brown says they need to set aside a percentage of fighters' purses for retirement of fighters medical as well, because it's a sport that has a short window span. Ask Janelle Taylor, James Toney, and Gerald McClellan. I was talking to my guy Rick Glazer a couple months ago, and he told me that the I don't remember if it was the WBO or the IBF.
Yeah.
One of them two. They actually do set aside some money. Like if you're a champion, so the longer you hold the belt, they take about 10% of your purses and they put it like in a separate account.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was WBO or IBF, but
yeah, I read about that. I read about that, but I think.
But they should, they should do more of that.
But I totally agree with you. I think like every professional sport, baseball, I don't know. I think hockey. What I'm getting at when
sports that are organized,
right, when they get to the Hall of Fame and they get inducted to whatever, they get some type of a sort of pension for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in boxing, me and my son has had a lot of discussion on this. Like, where's that one body that can literally go ahead and say, hey, you know what? We need to take all the Section 8 bodies together, and they can pull from a certain amount of money from all of them and put it to a retirement fund for all the boxers that have fought to cover the medical bills, just like they do in football and so forth and so forth. And one of the guys that I really feel bad for, I don't want to dog him out, is your other buddy. You know what I'm talking about? And I wish there was more. I wish
Isaac?
No, not Isaac. Hey, what you doing? What were we talking about?
Bo?
Yeah, Bo and so forth and so forth. What I'm getting at is when you see, take example, when you see Mike, or is it Leon Spinks or the other one, they're punch drunk or whatever. You need to have some kind of governing body, and I think all the bodies should come together, all the governing bodies, and have a proof of retirement for all the boxers, period.
There you have it. Henry Brown says, question, how long will Riddick Bowe run from Lennox Lewis? LOL, I had to troll you today. I'm on my way to the gym. Have a great night, champ. You have a great night, Henry.
Thank you so much.
This video has been sponsored to you by Henry Brown.
Thank you so much.
$32 in super chats for Henry Brown. And listen, there's 13 of you here. If any of you like what I got going on here on True School Sports, you feel free to hit that super chat button. And yeah, you know, support the channel. You know, we are going to the UK, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no to. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
mad if you help your boy BT out.
Right.
But yeah, thank you, Henry Bounce, a lot for just being
Thank you for all you guys
a
being
good supporter
here.
of the channel. SSB28 says, do you think Wilder can break Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0? Well, right now I believe he's what, 41-0-1?
43 something. 41 is it?
Is it 41-0-1? I think it's 41-0-1, but
Is
well, it might be 43. Let me just fact check that.
He's
I believe he's 41-0-1. He's 41-0-1 40 knockouts. So that means he will need 9 more wins.
He's gonna have to face the big dogs eventually.
I mean,
so
no, I'm gonna say no. I don't think.
No, I don't think.
If he's
That's what I'm
got
trying
if
to
he's
say,
got to
exactly.
fight Tyson Fury again,
Yeah.
no. But I'll tell you this though: if he beats Tyson Fury, let's say he just irons him out. Let's say he stops him. Let's say he just, you know, he was right. He validates what happened in the first fight.
You're discrediting my man King Kong, right? You don't think King Kong's gonna beat him? He can shock the world.
But what?
No, we shock the world.
He would shock the world if he showed his. You know what would be more shocking? If he showed his birth certificate.
So let me tell you.
He
right
should
now.
show his birth
Let me tell you
certificate.
right now.
That
It
if
could happen.
Luis Ortiz
Hey.
wanted to really shock the world, fuck being Wilder. Show your birth certificate.
Listen,
that would be a real shocker.
Listen, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it could happen next fight.
No, he's not gonna.
Guys, that one loss will be on the loss column next
He's
fight.
getting stopped under 6 rounds.
But honestly, I don't think that he's gonna ever break that record. No.
Okay, so we'll see. Moving on in the comments. SSB28 also said PBC actually set aside Broner's purse after the Pacquiao fight. They gave him his money in paychecks on a schedule. I didn't know that, but if that is the case, SSB28, then good for them, because you know they have to protect Broner from himself.
Right.
We know Broner likes to go to the strip club. We know he likes to throw
Too much
hundreds
money.
on top of hundreds. I mean, he
Yeah.
loves the strip club so much. You know, why not bring people out? He bring his wife to the strip club, and she throws money with him. So
Yeah.
it is what it is there. But I mean, if that's the case, then great for him.
Yeah.
Block the Boxer, he says, what up, True School Sports?
What's going on?
What's up, Block? I haven't seen my man Block in a minute, so good to see him in the comments, as always.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this PBC title, it's coming, man. It's coming. You know, I'll say this, that even let's say Ruiz doesn't win the fight, right? Let's say either Ruiz or Wilder slip up. I still think I still genuinely believe that the PBC belt is gonna get created one way or the other, because Al Haymon is a control freak, and this is it's an attempt to force boxing's hand.
Yeah.
It's an attempt to force boxing's hand and freeze the competition out. And when you look at 154, I mean, literally every champion at 154, with the exception of Jaime Munguia, is a PBC fighter. Harrison PBC fighter. Julian Williams PBC fighter.
Jefe, what is it called? The guy Jefe? The African guy, I forgot his name.
Jagba.
Yeah. He's in PBC heavyweight.
I'm not talking about heavyweights.
Okay,
I'm talking about 154.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, and then even if you look at like the rankings on 154, you got Jamel Charlo, who's still gonna be around. You got Eric Shalubin, who's an Al Haymon guy. He's gonna be around. You got Jarrett Hurd, who's gonna be around.
Yeah.
Like the majority of 154 is
Big too.
is freaking PBC
Yeah.
anyway. So, you know, one way or the other, that belt is getting created. It's gonna get created because Al Haymon has to try to force boxing's hand.
Okay, so if you, hypothetically speaking, if it does happen, and let's say Ruiz loses the fight, who would you think PBC will crown as the next heavyweight with that belt?
The PBC belt?
Yep. Do they have anybody legitimate for it?
If you're saying if Ruiz and Wilder don't fight for the title?
No, if they do fight, and let's say Ruiz loses from PBC, loses all those belts back to Joshua, then, in other words, who would Al Haymon create the belt for? So they
I just told you, 154.
Only 154, and that's it?
That's the prime division to do that in. And if not 154, then welterweight. Because I mean,
Right.
you got any division that I'm gonna put it like this: if you're in a division and 3 of the 4 champions are Al Haymon fighters, that belt is coming to that division. So we can look at welterweight. Errol Spence is unified WBA and IBF champion. You got Pacquiao, who is WBA champion. You got Porter, Garcia, Ugas, Lipinets, Jamal James.
Wow.
These guys are all highly ranked fighters.
Right.
So I can't tell you whether it's gonna be heavyweight, 154, 147, but that belt is getting created.
Wow.
I mean, and I think it says a lot when you have the guy that's pretty much responsible for all the programming, all the scheduling, and it's a direct line of communication for Al Haymon. He's saying this. He's basically Al Haymon's mouthpiece as to what's gonna happen in the future.
Wow.
So I would expect it to happen in 2020.
You think so?
Yeah. Do you think Terence Crawford will cave in at some point? Because he's so far Terence Crawford has pretty much been like he's been consistent in his stance. Like he's like, listen, all the other side of the street talk is BS.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick about Top Rank. I'm gonna stick about Barham.
Yeah.
Do you think he caves in at some point when that age starts kicking a little more and he gets rid of Top Rank and he goes across the proverbial street?
See that. I think he's very loyal to Top Rank. I mean, I think he's gonna stay with Top Rank. I don't think he's gonna leave Top Rank. I mean, Jimmy, I don't think so. It's just all the promoters gotta get together and make it happen.
SSB 28 speaking some sense right now. You want to hear what he's saying?
What?
You need to get this through your head.
Yeah.
As a Luis Ortiz fanboy.
What is it?
Ortiz has no chance against Wilder. Okay. First sentence.
He's gonna bash.
Let me finish the damn comment. Let me finish the comment, please. Finish the comment. Ortiz has no chance against Wilder. Ortiz beating Wilder is a bigger upset than Ruiz beating Joshua. And you know what, SSB? I'm actually going to agree. It's a bigger upset, and it's not going to happen.
And I agree 100%.
It's not going to happen.
I'm taking King Kong.
Because to beat Deontay Wilder right now,
he's only got a right hand. That's all he got.
You're wrong.
And you guys got to think about.
Hold on, did you see what happened to Tyson Fury in the 12th round?
Listen.
He didn't. Listen. Okay, trivia question. Let's see if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
What did Deontay Wilder hit Tyson Fury with in the 12th round to knock him down? What
right.
And what else? He wasn't just a right hand.
What the other one?
A left hook.
Okay.
Did you see the left hook?
Yeah.
The left hook was worse than the right.
Okay, hear this out, guys. King Kong is coming in better shape than he's ever been. He almost let him out.
He's gonna gas out in 6 rounds.
I don't see that.
He's gonna gas
I
out.
do not. You got a nutritionist that's helping him out.
That don't mean nothing. We've seen fighters younger and more in their prime than Ortiz hire a conditioning coach for another fight, and then they come in the ring with less stamina.
I'm gonna agree with what he said though. If Ortiz beats Wilder, it's one of the biggest upset in boxing.
Listen, I got my official Ortiz Wilder prediction video coming out tomorrow, so y'all be on the lookout for that.
It's out already. Yeah.
No, it's not. Well, Ted Cheeseman is at 154. Stop running from the big cheese. You damn right. Shout out to Ted Cheeseman, the Bermondsey bully. He's not playing games.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ted Cheeseman, man, that should be. Ted Cheeseman, he's been very disappointing. Very disappointing. I had high hopes for the big cheese, and then Sergio Garcia just came and split his wig.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Beat the hell out of him.
It's that you never know in boxing what's gonna happen.
No, most people actually told me, like Alex.
Yeah.
Alex told me that Ted Cheeseman sucks, and the minute he fights somebody, he's gonna lose. And I'm a Ted Cheeseman fanboy. I like Ted Cheeseman.
And he shocked you when he lost.
He didn't just lose. He got fucked up. He got pieced up. He got folded up like a blue steel chair. Wilder will get the PBC belt. That's why Wilder is claiming he turned down the franchise champion. Wilder probably knows the belt is coming. Wow. That's a great point.
Yeah, we're talking to my son about Wilder. I still think to this day he made a mistake turning down $100 million. And my son was telling me that was the best thing he did because.
Well, from a business standpoint, like.
You think he's gonna make a lot more than that? What do you guys think? I think $100 million you're gonna turn down.
$20 million actually.
So you think he's gonna make more from Ortiz or Josh or Ruiz fight if they ever fight him? If he ever fights him, I think it's big. $100 million. Will you guys turn $100 million down?
I mean, listen, it's his career, it's his prerogative. Yeah. So if he believes that it's beneficial for him to duck the fight, then fine. But he can't expect to be universally recognized as the best heavyweight in the world. I'm sure. I mean, he has people out there that do recognize him as the best, but there's plenty of people that don't because of the fact that he turned down that fight. And until he gets all the belts or knocks out Tyson Fury, universally he'll never be accepted as the best heavyweight. Wow. Really, nobody's universally accepted as the best heavyweight right now because these guys haven't all fought each other yet. So until they all fight each other, it's all just hearsay. It's all just talk.
Yep.
It's all just flapping of the gums.
Time is going by.
Ortiz and Wilder said that certain seats that were $500 went down to $100 within a day.
Wow.
Fights not selling.
Wow.
And that's not surprising because there was no demand for this fight. Nobody wanted to see this fight.
It's crazy.
But what I know you like Ortiz, Dad, but was this the first fight on your list for Wilder?
No, honestly, I wanted Wilder to fight before Ruiz became either Joshua, Ruiz. I mean, before Ruiz became champion. Nobody else, but not Ortiz. But Wilder keeps claiming that. I mean, unless he's just trying to sell a fight. He says that everybody says Ortiz is old, but nobody wants to step up to the plate and fight him.
Because there's nothing to gain from fighting him.
But let me retract that answer. Does Ortiz sell out? Is he a big enough name to sell out?
You know where he sells out at? The only place in the world he sells out at? Where do you think is the only place Luis Ortiz will sell out?
It's South Miami.
Fucking Hialeah. That's where he sells at. Way down there.
How many people?
At the Hialeah Casino.
were you-
The worst boxing venue in the world. The Hialeah Casino.
How much was that?
Well, basically, listen, for those of you who have never been to Miami or South Florida, there's a part of Miami called Hialeah. It's very
Cuban.
far south.
Yeah.
It's basically like going to Cuba.
Yeah.
Everybody there speaks Spanish.
You got the
Everybody there is
stores.
Cuban. You go to the store, there's Cuban flags everywhere. That's the only place he's selling out.
Yeah.
All right. Anywhere outside Hialeah, he ain't selling out.
That's your answer. Yeah. So maybe that's why he's not getting a lot of big fights either. Because
Personal story. So in 2017, when I went to New York City, I went to the Wilder fight. Not for Wilder, but I went to go support my boy Adrian Granados because he was fighting Sean Porter as a co-main event. And I got a ticket on the day of the fight. I'm not a day before, not a week before, not a month before. The day of the fight,
wow.
I got a ticket to a Deontay Wilder fight in New York City for a world championship heavyweight fight. $30.
Wait a minute.
$30.
Wait a minute. The guy, Bill Wagner, said that he's
Bill Wagner said he's selling out arenas.
Yeah.
It was $30. First of all, about the same amount that Henry Brown donated in the super chats.
Yeah.
$30.
Yeah, well, it's crazy.
Literally, so the whole like lower section of the arena was filled.
Yeah.
So on TV, it looks like it's sold out.
Right.
Because it's all an illusion. You know, life is an illusion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As your mom would say.
Yeah.
Life is an illusion. The whole lower bowl
Yeah.
was full, but they don't show you the upper bowl. I wish I would have taken a picture or a video while I was up there so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The upper bowl, like, there's like 4 quadrants of the upper bowl, upper deck, the nosebleeds. Only one of them was open. The other 3 had a big ass curtain above the seats so that just in case you saw the upper deck, you wouldn't see the empty seats.
Right.
So
wow, it's crazy.
that's what it is. And yeah, I'm gonna agree with Sheehy. He can't sell out a mother-loving family dinner. Okay, so that's just what it is. Going to some boxing news. Really ain't much going on right now.
No.
I know. Right now, just I'll get to this in the video. I'm gonna make a video about this soon, but I'll talk about while I'm here. So far on this UK trip, I got roughly 6 or 7 interviews scheduled, and they're all notable names. They're all names you guys would know. So I'll have a video coming out probably sometime next week. I'm gonna announce my full lineup of confirmed interviews for the UK, so you guys stay tuned for that. I also applied for that Daniel Dubois Kayotaro Fujimoto fight, December 21st at the Copper Box.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get in. And then I'm also gonna try to apply for the December 19th card at York Hall.
Yeah.
Between what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name right now. He's Eddie Chamberlain's friend. I was the one I was showing you earlier. The fight for the British cruiserweight title. And it's at York Hall, so that's the fight I really want to get into because York Hall is like one of the big, like one of the famous venues of the UK boxing.
Yeah.
So should be a fun trip.
Hey, I was just gonna tell you some. These are the future fights down in December. I just want to ask you their thoughts.
Oh, Comey versus Teofimo. Yo, that fight keeps getting overlooked. That Comey versus Teofimo. What do you think about Comey versus Teofimo?
Oh, that's a tough fight. I like both fighters. I really do. That's tough. I don't know. I have to think about that. Watch more about both of them. I like them both. Really do.
Listen,
I
listen. For anybody who's watched my videos, you guys know that I've been hyping up Teofimo Lopez. He's one of. I mean, technically he's not from Broward County, but he made his boxing style, his amateur career in South Florida, in Davie, at the Davie Powell. So he is one of South Florida's and Broward County's very own. And I've always said, look, if there's a guy at that weight class that's going to beat him, it's gonna be Lomachenko.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Teofimo Lopez. I know people are gonna say, "Ha
Do you think
he looked bad his last
Do you think
fight."
he's in the right frame of mind?
I think now, for whatever reason, based on what I've seen,
Yeah.
he is in the right frame of mind. But
Yeah.
I think he'll be Comey. But honestly,
Comey's tough.
I don't really feel confident either way about it because like
Yeah.
Comey's dangerous. Comey can punch. He's
Yeah.
long. He's a bit rangy.
But if Teofimo wins, he'll definitely get a fight with Lomachenko.
Oh,
right?
no doubt about it. I mean, he
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
He should. So that's a good fight. Daniel Jacobs versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Junior.
I don't like that at all.
You know, I haven't had a chance to get around making a video about this yet, but you know, Eddie Hearn's in some big trouble right now.
Wow.
The Nevada Commission is like, I read a thing where the Nevada State Athletic Commission is like, it's like a big thing. I gotta make a video about it.
Wow.
You gotta look into it, but like,
Well,
as for that fight itself, because Chavez Jr.
you test it?
No, Chavez Jr. didn't want to take a drug test.
What? Well, so
The fight was originally scheduled to be in Vegas.
Right.
But if you notice now, it's supposedly supposed to be in Arizona.
Okay.
So they can avoid the commission, so Chavez can fight.
Oh, wow.
So now there's this big thing going on between Bob Bennett and Eddie Hearn. I gotta read more about
Wow.
it, but I saw
Well,
a bit about it.
I mean, even with that fight, Chavez has never been dedicated enough to me. He should be embarrassed because he's a reflection of his dad, and he's really embarrassing his dad. And his dad don't even probably want to train him or do anything with him after all this disappointment he's given him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
So that fight doesn't really interest me at all. I like.
it doesn't interest you?
No, I want to see Billy Saunders fight Canelo. Or Boo. I mean, nobody's giving Boo. Boo Andre's like not more or less, but the Crawford of his weight class. Because Boo Andre's like he's wanting to fight Canelo. Nobody wants to give him a chance to fight. He wants a big fight, and nobody's calling him out. He has to go call
And
everybody out.
that's not gonna change. He's been away his whole career. LaRon 9817. He says, "What's up, True and Pops? Who do you have for Charlo and Harrison?"
I got
And let him know how. You got
Okay.
him like stop it.
Yeah,
you got him like decision. What you got?
I still got I think that literally Harrison's got so deep into Charles' mind frame, in his mind, that when the fight goes on, I think Harrison's gonna fight a smart fight like he did the first time and better, and I think that he probably went with a UD. Simple fact, because I don't Charles. They talk a lot. And he's a good fighter and everything, but I think this one right here, he's really got into his mind. So I'm taking Harrison to UD.
I got Harrison, but I think Charlo comes back a bit stronger. I actually think he'll be successful this time in hurting Harrison.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna drop Harrison, but I don't think he's gonna finish Harrison. I think Harrison will show poise. He'll show composure.
And come back.
He'll show that Detroit grittiness and toughness.
Kronk Jim,
And I think he wins another close decision and wins the rematch. So I think it'll be a repeat.
Who does he like?
I'm not sure. She asking a question about the smaller weight classes, and I like these questions.
Yeah.
He asked me, who do you think wins between Ken Shiro and Felix Alvarado? He then also says Alvarado only losses as a fighter, where the quality fighters like Reveco and Kazuzoto Ioka. He's also a KO puncher. Ken Shiro's goal is to be the Japanese with the most consecutive title defenses after Shinsuke Yamanaka and Yoko. I can't even say his name right now.
All right.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not even gonna bullshit you. I gotta do more homework on Felix Alvarado. I mean, I know who he is. I know that he's a good fighter. I know that he's one of the guys that's been rumored to fight Ken Shiro for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Shiro, he like right now, Japan has some special fighters right now. You know,
Coming up, yeah.
We're talking about Naoya the Monster and Inoue, who listen, pound king of boxing on this channel.
Yeah.
Pound king of boxing.
Yeah.
You got Ken Shiro, who I don't think is getting talked about enough.
Right.
Even I don't talk about Ken Shiro enough, and he's an amazing fighter.
Yeah.
Amazing fighter. And then you got Takuma Inoue, who I rate.
Yeah. He looked good actually.
I mean, some pretty much. She making some big claims here about Ken Shiro. He says, I think by the end of his career, Ken Shiro will be better than Chiquita Gonzalez, Michael Carvajal, the best light flyweight ever. Those are some big claims, man.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Yeah, me too.
Better than Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez? You think he's better than Roman Gonzalez? I mean, you already know what I think about Roman Gonzalez. That man's the truth. Let's see. Al Pal says, I look up the videos of Eddie Hearn. I am not a drug tester, just a promoter. He supports PEDs. SSB28 says, people are saying Hearn broke the Ali Act. This is being alleged in the Chavez Jr. situation. So it's big allegations there. And I know Eddie Hearn is a big jeopardy. You know, listen, Eddie Hearn is a promoter just like everybody else. And promoters by nature are they're corrupt, you know, very corrupt people. So, you know, we'll see what happens with Hearn. Carbajal is better than Roman at light flyweight. Roman is better than pound for pound. Yeah, that is true because light flyweight is what, 108? Yeah, so Roman's resume at 108 is not really messing with what Carbajal did at 108. So I can see that, but yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to match what Roman Gonzalez did in his career, you know, pound for pound, scaling weight class, beating the opposition he beat in the fashion he beat them in. So I can see what you're saying. You know, personally, and then listen, this is a very unpopular opinion because he's not even getting any consideration. But Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez is my fighter of the decade. Not Canelo, not Floyd Mayweather, not Vasily Lomachenko, not even Manny Pacquiao. It's Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez because no fighter scaled weight classes, beat the opposition, and took the risk he took in his career as often as he did, and beat them in the fashion he beat them in, like he did. And that's just my opinion. Hopefully I finally make that video I've been talking about doing for a while. Did you see, and this from SSB28, he said, did you see Bob Arum talking about wanting to make Lomachenko versus Inoue at 130? I think Bob has lost his mind. Yeah, I think he's lost his mind too because let's have it right. Inoue is not a big guy. I mean, neither is Lomachenko, but he's bigger than Inoue.
Right.
I think Inouye's we might be seeing a Roman Gonzalez situation where he's already scaled. He's 108, yeah. 112. 108, 112, right? No, 108, 118. Now he's at 105, 108, and 115. I think he's a 3 or 4 division champ. 3 or 4 division champ. Inoue. You know, we might see a situation with him where when he gets to 122, it might be his cap. Because, you know, a lot of people thought Roman Gonzalez could potentially go higher and higher and higher. But we saw what happened when he got to 115. He was still a quality fighter, a capable fighter, but not the fighter he was at 112, 108, 105. So we'll see. We'll see. Listen, if you could shrink them both down to size and they could fight each other, I really think I think Inoue would beat Lomachenko. I really don't think Lomachenko is a better fighter than Inoue, and I believe that to the core of my bones. I got a video right now that I made like in April or March where I was talking about how I believe Lomachenko is overrated, and I think what Inoue has done in boxing is more impressive than Lomachenko. And I said that back then before Inoue won the World Boxing Super Series, and I stand by it. So in a perfect world where they could both be the same size and same weight at their best, I think Inoue is beating Lomachenko. I think he's stopping Lomachenko. And I know a lot of people don't like that. I'm saying that, but that's just what that's what I believe. But yeah, he's gone crazy. If Arum is trying to do that, he's gone crazy. Al Pal, so far, who got the fight of the year for me? So far, it's Ruiz versus AJ. I mean, I'm not mad at that. Ruiz versus AJ would be my top 3. But, man, that Inoue versus Donaire, that was something special.
Yeah,
that was something special.
That was a great fight.
Well, what do you think, that Inoue Donaire or Joshua Ruiz? Which one's more exciting to you? Which one?
I like the Inoue one. I think it showed a lot from two of his warriors, and I think Inoue proves he was the top of the bus. Top of the top, so yeah, Inoue.
She says, I had the same fighter of the decade, better than, yes, listen, this is why me and she get along, because great minds think alike. Roman Gonzalez had a better decade, and, you know, I keep seeing this on, you know, it really, like
irks you?
That's not even, that's understated. It fucking irritates me, it angers me. I get really angry when I go on social media.
Yeah.
And I see people talking about fighter of the decade, and I see all these fighters getting their names thrown on. I see Andre Ward, which to me, that is a joke. That is a joke and a half.
How about Canelo? I'm just telling you, people just they're saying now.
Canelo, no.
Not even close.
You can't be the fighter of the decade when you got schooled like he did against Floyd Mayweather, and then when you get the gift decision after gift decision like he did against Golovkin and Lara and them guys. So no. Who else did you mention? You mentioned Lomachenko. Lomachenko lost to Orlando Salido. A great fighter, yes, Lomachenko, but lost to Orlando Salido. Floyd, man, listen. I gotta do a video on this one day when I'm not as spirited. But it really pisses me off because Roman Gonzalez is everything right with boxing, and all people do is try to shit on the guy.
And most
and they don't even shit on him because they think he's a bad fighter.
Yeah.
They shit on him just for the sake of hyping up their fighter because they know if it comes down to looking at accomplishment for accomplishment, that they're not gonna stack up to what Chocolatito did.
Right. And sometimes people don't want to face reality of the truth.
Yeah. Laurent says no. Yeah. She says yeah, BT. I think I might have went too far with Kenshiro. He would be top 10 all time light flyweight though. Listen, Kenshiro is an exceptional fighter, and I have to make it a point to start making more videos about Kenshiro. Because he is one of the fighters. He's probably one of the most underrated. Like, you probably don't even know much about Kenshiro.
No.
Kenshiro is one of the most underrated fighters in all of boxing.
Wow.
If we're talking about in terms of pure talent, he's almost as talented as Naoya Inoue.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Has he fought better fighters than Inoue or?
No, well, not really. I don't think he has. But listen, when you talk about the more, if we did a pound for pound list just based on sheer talent, he'd be in the top 10.
Wow.
Not resumes, we did it on talent. He'd be in the top 10 easily. So, yeah, thank you for putting him back in my mind. Because sometimes with boxing, especially when it comes to
too much going on.
when you go to boxing scene, a lot of times all of it is just American fighters, mainstream fighters. Sometimes you kind of it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind with some of these fighters overseas. So I'm glad you put him back in my mind.
What do you think about Josh Warrington fighting Shakur Stevenson?
I just made a video about that today, and that'll be out tomorrow.
Oh,
but that's a good fight. I don't see any reason why Josh Warrington versus Shakur Stevenson isn't gonna happen next, or why it shouldn't happen next. Because, both of them, first of all, Josh Warrington he hasn't been a guy that's been known to duck fights.
Right.
And then with Shakur, he doesn't look like he's trying to waste any time.
No.
But you gotta look at it like Shakur Stevenson. He's 22 years old.
Wow.
He's got 13 fights, and he's already thinking about unification fights with Josh Warrington. That's big stuff. That's big time stuff right there from the kid from Newark.
Yeah, another thing that I want to talk about is that Devin Haney saying that somebody asked him, does he ever think he's going to fight Lomachenko now that he has that so-called franchise belt? Is that going to cause complications for that fight?
He's supposed to fight Eddie Hearn made an offer for him to fight Fortuna. And you don't like that fight. You slagging that fight off. Listen, Fortuna ain't nothing to play with.
No, he last fight.
I think Haney will beat him, but
Fortuna he had a great fight. I seen it. I forgot who he just recently fought. He came out, did real good, but he did fight. I forgot who he fought. But I mean, what I'm saying is, do you still think the Lomachenko fight's gonna be made with Haney, even with that franchise belt?
No.
Haney believes so, but I don't think so.
No.
I think.
Be nice, but no.
That's just not another way of blocking fights, whatever you call it.
Facts.
Another belt.
Laurent says also Chocolatito has been slept on recently. Yeah, but he has, but part of that is actually his problem because he hasn't fought. His last fight was when he fought what was that guy's name? The dude he knocked out on the Canelo Golovkin 2 undercard. I can't remember his name right now. He hasn't been active over the last year, but I really think Roman Gonzalez at this point in his career, being that he's as old as he is, he's been in so many wars. I think it might be time for him to hang it up, man. Because when you get to his age and your body has as much mileage on it as it has, then you need to be active, and he's not active.
No,
he's the kind of fighter that balloons up in between fights. So it might be time for him to hang it up. And listen, that pains me to say because this is my favorite. This is not one of my favorite fighters of all time. This is my favorite fighter of all time.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I love watching his fights, and I watch them all the time. So. It's unfortunate, but hopefully, I hope he can come back. I hope he can come back and get his heart back involved in boxing, get active, and start beating some names and go out on top, go out on a high, go out as a world champion again. And I still think he could be the likes of Kelly Fry, but the less active he becomes, the less winnable that fight is becoming for him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Here we go. She says, after that Donaire fight, Inoue, after that Donaire fight Inoue had, I think Roman definitively whoops him at flyweight. I'll even favor Roman over him at super flyweight. And you know what? When I was watching the Donaire fight, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to talk about it too much because I wanted to let Inoue have his moment. But I was like, damn, Roman would have beat the. Listen, I always said this.
You've been saying that.
I've been saying this. When the LDBC and people who hate Roman Gonzalez were trying to say that Inoue would have whooped him, I always said, look, the angles, the smarts, the combination punching would have been too much for Inoue. And we saw a Donaire that really, he fought kind of like a bootleg Roman Gonzalez.
Yeah.
His style, and I mean that in the most respectful of ways.
Right.
He fought like a bootleg Roman Gonzalez in some ways when he fought Inoue, and he had success.
Yeah.
So imagine Roman Gonzalez with the angles, the combination punches in his prime. In his prime, Roman Gonzalez was a guy that could hit you with 8 punches in the center of the ring and not get hit back. So special type of guy. Joe B. What's up? What you showing me?
I was trying to show you the Jesus. This is the last fighters that
Jesus Marcelo, Andres Cuellar, and Sharif.
Bogori. Those are the last fights that Fortuna had.
Yeah, I don't know why you're slagging off the Fortuna fight. He's a former world champion, capable fighter.
You know what I found with Fortuna in the last fight, Adrian Granados.
Oh, when he fought Granados and he won an Academy Award.
Acting,
flew out the ring.
Yeah, so
fuck, man. You know what? Thank you for reminding me of that. I hope Haney stops him in brutal fashion. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Joe B, shout out to Joe B, says,
Hi, Joe.
as much as I don't care for Ruiz, he beats Wilder. Wilder has no skills. He's clumsy and he's awkward. I mean, it's possible. A lot of people are just writing off Andy Ruiz, but I wouldn't do that.
I mean, he lost weight too, so I mean, he's serious for the fight. I mean, he's living the dream now. Think about it.
Living a dream.
Yeah. So you don't want to give those belts away. Hell no.
Inoue has to fight the best and smartest fight of his life. He'll win the first round because Roman is a slow starter. Low weight pressure fighters age terribly. If Roman comes back and beats your fight, that would be an all-time great win. And it would be too, because if you look at Kelyafai, I mean, let's be honest, we know Kelyafai is the weak link of the division, but Kelyafai is someone that I believe at this stage of his career is coming into his own.
Right.
He's getting better. You know, he's at 30 years old. He hasn't really been in too many wars because he fights a very conservative style. He was a fantastic boxer and as an amateur represented England in the Olympics. Personally, I thought he got his ass whooped and lost to Israel Gonzalez, and I had it as my 2018 robbery of the year.
Wow.
But aside from that, you know, he's beaten some good fighters. He beat Luis Concepcion. He beat Sho Ishida. He stopped David Carmona, the same David Carmona that gave Carlos Cuadras hell and gave him a great fight.
That's crazy.
You know, I think right now his next 2-3 fights, we're gonna see the best Kelyafai moving forward. And I would agree with you. Yeah, if Roman Gonzalez could beat him, that is an all-time great win. So.
Right.
I hope it happens, and I hope he can get that fight because I miss Roman Gonzalez fight weeks. I miss being excited for him because he's one person that when he fights, he gives you the best bang. He gives you bang for your buck. You're not gonna be disappointed watching Roman Gonzalez fight.
Yeah.
And he's just one of the best. He's one of the best fighters of his era, and he deserves all the credit in the world. And he's been such a humble testament to boxing. We want to take on all comers, and I really miss the guy. I'm hoping he comes back.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish my Spanish was a lot sharper just so I could talk to him a bit. Roman Gonzalez.
I wish I would have been there with you.
But it is what it is. But we've been live for about damn near 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, these lives just fly by. It's 2:14 a.m. here on the East Coast. So with that being said, we're probably gonna wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, let's just highlight what we talked about earlier. Chris Manix of Sports Illustrated of Yahoo.com,
right?
Formerly of Yahoo.com, now DAZN. He interviewed, and let's say the title again because it's just fun to say this title. He interviewed Bill Wagner, the Executive Vice President of Programming and Scheduling for PBC on Fox. He interviewed him today earlier on his podcast. And Bill Wagner highlighted some things that were on the PBC agenda, such as them creating a PBC title, potentially a heavyweight if Ruiz and Deontay Wilder win the next big fights coming up. So there's that. You have the fact that he told some bold-faced lies saying that Deontay Wilder sells out arenas and that fighters must come to him.
Yeah, and that.
He said that he pretty much acknowledged the fact that the PBC isn't going to acknowledge the WBO title and will only recognize WBC, WBA, and IBF champions to freeze out WBO fighters because mainly WBO fighters are top-ranked fighters, and that's what it is. And basically, this is going to be the next ploy from Al Haymon and PBC to force the hand of boxing and freeze the others out. So you guys have a lot to look forward to in boxing, and I highly believe that if it's not going to be in the heavyweight division, this will be in the 154-pound division or welterweight. So
crazy.
that's just
But it's
what
gonna
it
happen.
is. It's gonna happen. You know, this was something that was rumored years ago.
So
This has been years in the making, and
it's gonna happen. Yeah,
that's what it is.
it's crazy. And then next week's the big fight.
Next weekend's a big fight. We got a live fight reaction for Caleb Smith versus John Ryder,
Smith.
and Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. The
Put your
rematch,
money on King Kong.
if you want to lose it. So yeah, that's what it is. And then after that live fight reaction, that will actually be the last live fight reaction, or I'm not sure if it will be. It will be one of the last live fight reactions we do before I go to England. So
Yeah.
you know, and it might be the last live fight reaction me and you do together for
a while.
a month or 2 months.
Yeah,
I mean,
for a
I'm still gonna do live fight reactions when I'm in England,
Yeah.
but it'll be a bit different when I'm there.
Yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, you might have some surprise guests on your.
We
your
might,
channel.
we might
You
have
never
some
know,
surprise guests, so you never know what you might
I
see
mean,
here on
yeah.
True School
Yes,
Sports.
sir. So yeah. So I mean, we got that fight. We got all kind of fights coming out. What do you say?
Al Moore says, "You guys agree Canelo is stuck on an app and his star power is dwindling. What do you think? Do you think Canelo Alvarez's star power, his name, do you think it's stagnated or dwindling?"
I want to say is not doing this with Mexican fans. He's big on that, but I mean, what other avenues has he gone besides surrounded with Mexican in his culture, more or less?
Personally,
That he ever sold out.
I think it's dwindling just because he never fought anywhere outside of America
So-
or Mexico.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So,
If he really wanted to take his star power to that next level,
Yeah.
he should fight Caleb Smith at Wembley Stadium.
oh man, that'd be a great fight.
That would really
yeah.
take
him
take
or
things
Billy
to the next
Saunders.
level.
Yeah,
You know?
either or. That'd be great. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think if it wasn't for the Mexican following, and not to be biased or that, where has he really gone to actually showcase himself?
I mean, look it. Let's take Canelo's star power and let's just strip it down, okay?
Yeah.
Aside from him being probably
And they're
the
guys-
best Mexican fighter,
Yeah.
arguably out right now.
Yeah.
What does Canelo do that makes him a star? Like for example, like you know Mike Tyson, right?
Right.
Mike Tyson was an exceptional knockout artist.
Right,
He was
right.
exciting in the ring. He had a personality,
Right.
and he had quotables outside the ring that made him controversial, made him entertaining.
Right.
You know, these fighters have things. So Canelo's not really exciting out the ring.
No.
I mean, the only thing exciting about him is that
He has like a dry personality.
very
Is
dry,
that what we're getting
just super
at?
dry. He's got the
Yeah.
personality of this damn
Very,
pillow.
Very, 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 very
You know,
dry.
very
So,
dry
yeah.
personality. He says, "Oh, I fight for the honor. I fight for the glory."
If you want to talk about personality, look at
Alec Powell says he's like a pretty boy light skin, just like Ryan Garcia. I agree. That's what he is.
And it's talking about that.
The only thing
I finally picked Rolly. I changed my pick. I picked Rolly
Over Ryan Garcia,
over Ryan Garcia.
he attracts hoes. That's what Alec Powell. He said he attracts hoes.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't have no personality. Like if you look at what's the black dude we were talking about? I forgot. From Ohio.
Joshua Greer.
No, not Joshua Green. You know him. He's always making funny things on Instagram. What were we talking about? We're tanking them.
Adrian Broner.
Yeah, Broner got more personality than he does, and he's crazy. But you know what? He even says
Like
Yeah.
to be honest with Canelo, like I don't think his star power can get any bigger because number one, he's fucking boring. Like outside the ring, he's boring. He don't speak. I mean, he can speak English, but he don't speak English, so he doesn't really.
that pisses you off.
That pisses me off. Like that's why I want Boo Boo to beat his ass. Like I want
He
Boo
says
Boo.
thank you or something. You said.
This motherfucker will do a whole entire. I'm talking about during the Kovalev fight. They asked him like 7 questions, right? And you see him, he's understanding everything. You see him nodding his head. You can tell that he understands what they're saying. Answers everything in Spanish, right? And then when the interview is done, the last thing he says in perfect English, "Thank you."
Yeah.
That shit really pisses me off. So he doesn't really endear himself to the American audience.
Doesn't have that. He doesn't.
He
really
doesn't
have-
fight anywhere outside of America or Mexico. So that's what it is.
I mean, I don't think. I think. What's his name? Brian has. Garcia has a big Instagram following than he does.
To who?
Than Canelo.
Ryan Garcia has a bigger Instagram
I'm
following
just
than
saying
everybody.
in general, but because he talks, he's young, he got some charisma to him. You can't get none of that from Canelo.
No, Canelo
And
has the
eventually-
charisma of my underpants, like Tyson Fury
And
would
like
say.
I said, if he keeps this fight in Mexico,
Like Tyson Fury, I
Los
can understand why Tyson
Angeles,
Fury
or
is big.
That then, yeah, but if he goes any other place, I don't think he's gonna sell out.
Like he's not like that's why I think like okay in America, okay Canelo is probably. But the thing is, can you even really say that Canelo's a cash cow of American boxing? Because
No.
Manny Pacquiao's still fighting, and I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys believe that Canelo is a bigger cash cow than Manny Pacquiao? Because personally, I still think Manny Pacquiao's a bigger
Well,
fighter and
anywhere
a draw
you go.
than Canelo Alvarez.
And Manny's gone all over the world to fight, right? He hasn't just stayed in one
Philippines,
place.
Australia,
You name it, he's gone all over. Where has Canelo actually gone?
Malaysia. Like who
Where-
fights in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Like only Pacquiao.
Where has Canelo actually gone? So as long as Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy keep him stringing on only to Los Angeles, Mexico, and all the Spanish, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
big cities,
Yep,
that's how he's gonna make his money. That's it.
that's it, man. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really see it getting any bigger. My main man, Neto Lay, he says Manny is bigger. I agree. Manny Pacquiao is
100%
bigger.
bigger.
If
Sir.
Ryan is really good, he'll be a star. He's like a YouTube vlogger. My assumption. I don't pay attention to those guys. Only
Right.
saying it because he hangs out with them. No, that's what he is. There's no fighter in boxing right now that has mastered social media like Ryan Garcia. That's the only reason why he's as big as he is. Because if we're talking about what he's been able to, if we strip all the social media stuff and all the marketability factors and all that bullshit that you want to hear promoters
Yeah.
spew, if we strip all that down, we get to just boxing in the ring, and
Yeah.
we compare him to his counterparts around his weight class, his fellow American counterparts like Shakur Stevenson, like Devin Haney,
Right.
like Teofimo Lopez. He's not fucking with any of those guys right now. He's not on the level
No.
of any of those in terms of pure boxing. Now, the reason why he is on their level and why he gets mentioned with them is because of the social media factor.
Right.
So yes, I would agree with what you're saying there. Al Mora, shout out to Al Mora. He says, Hi was born ready. He has no charisma. I think the zone plan is starting to backfire. Canelo is not worth $365 million.
No.
Look, Canelo getting paid $365 million from the zone is the
crazy.
worst contract signing in sports since my Charlotte Hornets. Shout out
Yeah,
to the Hornets. They
and-
won tonight. It's the worst contract in sports since my Charlotte Hornets paid Nicholas Batum $120 million plus to sit on the bench and do nothing.
Who should have tried to sign, and they tried, but I think they offered more money to him than Canelo. Should have been Manny. That would have been good for the zone.
Yeah, they should have signed. They should have signed Pacquiao for that money.
That would be
You signed
great.
Pacquiao for that money.
I mean, Pacquiao gonna. You gotta look of the business part of it. I don't even know why actually Pacquiao actually went with
Because all the welterweights are there. That's
Yeah.
why I went there.
Yeah, so by the end of the day, I mean, he went out with the zone, he would have been set. I mean, he's already set anyway, bless him. But I think he would have been a better job. Or besides Pacquiao, what other fighter would you think could replace Canelo as being a big attraction more than Pacquiao? I mean, Floyd's retired.
I think if like y'all might crucify me in the comments for this, but I think if Deontay Wilder boxed outside of America
Yeah.
more often, I think he's got potential. Because look, when you can punch like that, that's why Wilder's whole career frustrates
But
me. Because when you can punch like that and you're as charismatic as he is, you should be a lot bigger and more popular than you are.
Yeah, but that goes back, like I was saying, it's a promotional company. It's not doing their job. And he's so, like, loyal or blindfolded that he doesn't see that part of it. So I mean, Al Haymon must have promised him a lot of money, you know?
Yeah,
I mean-
Pac. She says Pac at least has personality. Pac isn't as big as he was back then, though. Yeah, but you gotta understand, Pacquiao back in like 09, that's a level that very few fighters will ever reach in their lifetime.
And-
So to compare him now to what he was back then,
Yeah.
that's not even fair.
And then, but you gotta look at it, he's been around the game for so long.
Plus, you had the whole Floyd
Yeah.
thing going on too.
And you think that he would have already, been brushed off and forgotten, but he's always up there. So he's still selling, making money. Then a lot of the other fighters, the newcomers, and the ones that's been there for a while. But nobody can sell out seats like Pacquiao right now.
Shout out to my man Al Moore, dropping some knowledge. He says Canelo's too young to be ducking fades and putting stipulation on fighters. That don't make you great. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would do
And
100%.
listen, what you just said there,
Thank you.
that's why
That's what I've been saying
when
all along.
like somebody asked me the other day, they were like, "Oh, where do you rank Canelo pound for pound?" I said, "I don't.
Yeah.
I don't because there's too much controversy and asterisks and question marks with his fight. So I don't rank him pound for pound.
Right.
Now, if he stops First of all, even without all the stipulations and all that stuff, the dude listen. You cannot deny this. This is a fact. He is a cheater. He's a fucking cheater. Like, he's a cheater. He took clenbuterol, and then he got rewarded for it. He got caught, and then he got rewarded for it. So what kind of message is that sending to the younger fighters in boxing when the guy who's hailed and crowned as the face of boxing, he blatantly gets caught, and then gets rewarded like within less than a year with the highest contract in the history of the sport?
I mean, I don't know. I just think that, and I don't even know how the zone picked him on everybody else. Like, I still say Pacquiao, but I do agree with that. What's the name that said that? Yeah, if Canelo would just, I've been saying it all along, if Canelo would just fight fighters, top fighters, without any rehydration clause, without whatever the BS.
That's why he won't fight.
And just fight him, then you can respect him. But I can't respect him or the belts he got, even though he's a good fighter, because of all these whatever it's called clauses he's had in all these other fighters.
Neto Lay says Wilder is the only champion representing America. I'm gonna disagree with you on that. There is some good champions from America that are flying the stars and stripes very proudly. One of them that I mention as all the time when we talk about middleweights is Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, and I even went as far as to say that I believe that Demetrius Andrade is actually the most skilled fighter in all of America. More than Terence Crawford, more than Spence, more than anybody. But he just hasn't had the chance. He hasn't had the chance to prove it in the big fights. He hasn't gotten the big fights yet.
And nobody wants to give it to him.
And nobody wants to give it to him because his style is all wrong for them. A tall, lanky, rangy, slick boxer with respectable punching power in both hands with deep amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that smoke with Boo Boo.
Yeah, and that's what's sad. I mean, Boo Boo's called out Canelo, so he didn't go up to his weight class and fight him.
But people in the comments are bringing up a great point. They're saying that, and I haven't done a video about this. I should probably make a video about this soon. Yeah, the WBC increased the tolerance levels for clenbuterol.
We talked about that.
I was telling you about it the other day. So yeah, now it's actually legal for Canelo to keep eating the tainted meat. So yeah, now they're enabling him to cheat. So that's where things are just getting way out of control. And WBC, they're in bed with they're in bed with Canelo. We know this. We know that the WBC is in bed with quite a lot of fighters. I would say another one that they're in bed with is Deontay Wilder, who, let's have it right. He was supposed to fight Dillian White. Dillian White was mandatory for like 600 days. Now they got Dillian White on suspension pretty much until the investigation is done, and he can't become the mandatory until February of 2021. So we're talking about, by the time that ends, 1,000+ days. That is unheard of in boxing. Normally, if you're in the mandatory, the way it's supposed to go is you get your shot within 9 months. Okay, you get mandatory 9 months, you get your shot. 1,000. That's what? That's 3 years. 3 years of being a mandatory.
If that don't happen, then you strip the champion of his belt, like they did with Bo.
I'd say, but no, they have different standards for different fighters. So
it's a double standard. That's what I'm saying. Some fighters get a break and some don't. So what kind of message are you bringing to boxing?
But the game, as my main man Otis Griffin would say, shout out to Otis Griffin. The game don't love nobody.
That's right. Don't.
Laurent says boycott the PBC and fuck the PBC, or boycott the WBC and fuck the PBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta find out next year if the WBC convention is in America. I have to go. I have to make it a point to go.
That'd be great to go, man.
Because I went to the first one.
Yeah.
When I was 20.
That'd be great to go.
1 years old.
That is so great to go.
25 next year, so.
I mean,
it'd be good to go again because I don't think when I went to the WBC the first time, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous.
Yeah, but now
I was nervous.
And you're more comfortable.
I'm like more comfortable now.
And
like
a lot of people know you through the boxing community,
which is surprising.
So I mean, people, so that'll be a plus for you. I mean, why not be in the U.S.?
Now I'm gonna tell you guys this. I remember back in 2016 when I was at the WBC convention. I went to freaking. I was walking around with Ellie Sekbak, who at the time knew who I was, which was surprising because my channel was like 30 times less big than it is now, but he knew who I was.
Right.
So we walked around and whatnot, and I actually wound up meeting Mauricio Suleiman.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. How was he?
I mean, he was nice. He was nice because I talked to him for 2 seconds, but
it's always walking.
But honestly, I'll be honest with you.
Videos.
I felt bad when I shook his hand. I felt like I had shook the hand with the devil.
I just
And
think,
the only reason I took it saying because I was with Ellie and I didn't want to cause no problems.
yeah.
But now I wouldn't even care. Now I would just
Yeah.
ask the guy like, yo, look, bro, like, what's going on with this franchise bullshit? What's going on with this?
I just think like I agree with what you said before, BT, when you were talking about the more belts they come out with, the more money they get into the organization.
Sanctioning fees.
Yeah, so I agree 100% what you're saying.
She asked, ha ha ha, were you friends with Ellie? I wouldn't call him my friend because like I've only met Ellie twice. I met him once. I met him twice in 2016. And I haven't seen Ellie since then, since 2016. But I met him. The first time I met him was in September of 2016 at the Romo Gonzalez Carlos Cuadras weigh-in. Actually, no, at the media workout, and then the weigh-in.
Right.
And that was pretty cool. He knew who I was, which was very surprising because at the time my channel only had like 900,000 views. Now we're at like 16 million views.
Yeah.
Then the second time was in December of 2016, and that was at the convention. So he was cool with me. I know Ellie gets a lot of stick and a lot of flack from boxing fans, but Ellie's great at what he does, and I respect the hell out of his grind because I've seen how hard he works. And yes, I know he asks some stupid ass questions, but listen, he's great at what he does. He's persistent, and he's actually a lot of times he's actually very inspiring.
And he's even best friends with Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah, no, he's not.
No, you're joking.
One SSS, shout out to him. Have you met Paco from the WBA? No, I have not met. I don't think I met Paco from the WBA. I met all kinds of people in boxing. So maybe I might have met him.
Or?
No, I might have met him, but I might not even remember him because like I meet people in sanctioning bodies all the time.
Yeah.
There was this one guy I met when I was in New York in 2017. I met Greg. First of all, I met Greg Cohen from Greg Cohen Promotions.
Wow.
And I heard him talking to some guy from the WBA. So it might have been Paco. This guy, it was Greg Cohen and this WBA guy. They were talking about making a fight on a showbox card on Super Bowl weekend of 2018.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was Paco, but I mean, I met tons of people in boxing. I don't know everybody's name. I forget names.
Yeah, faces.
Well, when it comes to fighters, I remember all the fighters. But like as far as like, all those people, I don't know. ES News does great work regardless. Yeah, I got respect for ES News. You know, shout out to him.
Yeah, doing great.
Ellie be doing too much sometimes, following boxers to the bathroom for interviews. Yeah, that's a bit too much. I wouldn't do that. That's a bit too much.
People need their privacy at some point.
Pheno Boxing is a good one with that fine chick. I met Pheno Boxing too. I met Pheno Boxing in 2016, and it was funny too because at the time I met her.
Yeah.
Like now she's huge. Her channel is much bigger than mine.
Yeah.
But at the time I met her, my channel was actually bigger than hers.
Are you serious?
At the time, yeah. There was a time when my channel was bigger than hers, but
crazy.
I don't have 36. I don't have 36 double Ds or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever she has. So.
Yeah.
I don't have a chance. I'm not gonna compete with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
Do your thing. That's it. Keep grinding. We'll get there.
But sex sells. Like Tyan Booth said it best. Sex sells, don't it?
Yeah. I can't wait for. Did you tell us one?
No.
Oh,
Out of all the questions, Ellie asked Don Turner. He asked, "Why do you wear your hat like that?" And Don seemed more annoyed. Yeah, Don Turner will shoot it to you straight. I interviewed Don Turner. And that's actually like one of my most popular interviews. And everybody always talks about that interview. Bro,
what was that?
Let's see you fight. Boxing physique. Are you saying I have a boxing physique, or is boxing physique a person on YouTube? I mean, I do okay. In fact, when I go to the UK, I'm gonna take my mouthpiece, my hand wraps, and my boxing shoes. And I'm gonna see if I can find a gym out there and train. Because honestly, training with how life has been the last 4 months.
I mean, we finally get some type of stability. Thank God.
Got some stability in life, so we're good now. BT needs breast expansion surgery to compete with Pheno Boxing. Yeah, man. Like, listen, Michelle Phelps, Pheno Boxing. Like, look, God bless them. They're doing their thing. I'm doing mine. I'm not really trying to compete with anybody. Like, I'm happy with where I got on YouTube.
Just being you.
I know I'm gonna grow gradually. For me, it's a matter of stamina. And I always say the cream will rise to the top. And listen, I'm less than 300,000 views away from hitting 4 million views on the year.
God bless you.
And I've hit, when I do that, that'll be the second time in 3 years that I've hit 4 million views in 3 years. So that's consistency.
It's a blessing.
That's consistency. I'm averaging 4 million views a year, easy, the last 3 years. So, I think 2020, I'm gonna make a big jump. You know,
I think you will too.
I've learned a lot of things here on YouTube. I have next year pretty much mapped out. I'm going to the UK. Things are looking up, so I'm happy about where I'm at right now. BT Dad, what you make for Thanksgiving, bro? Turkey is overrated. Wait, what are you making for?
I'm making some arroz con gandules. It's
Talk
rice,
to him. Let him know.
yeah, rice with pigeon peas. Making a penne, which is actually just a roast pork. They usually make it. The Puerto Ricans make it, and most people make it during Christmas Eve. But I want to make that. I'm gonna have some ham, mashed potatoes, regular potatoes, salad, cranberry sauce, the traditional stuff we have for Thanksgiving. But a lot of it's gonna be
Pumpkin pie?
pumpkin pie.
You can't have Thanksgiving without pumpkin pie. Let's go, champ.
Whatever traditional Thanksgiving plus with a lot of it was the Spanish cooking. My side, and then my wife's gonna have some Cuban to it also. And whatever BT likes, we always make sure we cater to the champ.
Let's go.
Whatever he likes, yeah.
Neto Lay says, "Good for you. Keep up that good work." Yeah, man.
Thank you.
That's the plan. That's a plan. I got a couple things I'm gonna be announcing soon, so I'm sure. I hope you guys like it. Should be a lot of fun. Let me see. I'll take a couple more questions. You guys got anything else before because we're gonna get off soon. But if you guys have anything else you want to say in regards to boxing, the channel, or just in general, drop it down now.
Yeah. You guys have like any ideas that maybe we can make this channel better than what it is, as far as
I do
more boxing content that you guys will want us to do. Do you like more live?
Well, one thing in
2020
we're doing for sure. This is without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now that life is a bit more stable.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in England or whether I get back here, we're gonna make it a point to go to the gyms more.
Yeah. We do. We haven't gone.
Because honestly,
there's a lot of gyms that
I'm not gonna toot my own horn. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best not to toot my own horn. But like I and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I'm not looking for validation, but like I genuinely believe that I have some of the best boxing interviews on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think I have some of the best boxing interviews on YouTube. Like whether we talk about Holyfield, whether we talk about the Bow or Don Turner or Stacey McKinley. I have award-winning shit all across my channel.
Yeah.
And I want to get more of that kind of stuff in 2020. And so yeah, 2020 for sure. Like I think this year we from 2018 to 2019 we got to the gym more and we got more interviews.
But we want to do more of it.
And from 2019 to 2020 we're gonna do the same thing. So
and there's a lot of gyms that we haven't really put our feet in there yet. And most of the time when we go to these gyms, it actually turns out pretty good.
Don Turner was the best interview in my opinion. Yeah, everybody loves it's funny because Don Turner. He got a lot of views, but it's not my most viewed interview. But people always talk about that damn Don Turner interview.
They like that.
So you know what I gotta do is. I gotta track down Don Turner. We gotta do it again. We gotta do it again.
Yeah,
so
we gotta do that. A lot of subscribers have been asking for that.
Everybody wants to see Don Turner. So hopefully we can get in touch with Don Turner
and do the same thing
and just talk to him some more.
Yeah, be great.
What is he like? What is Don? Does anybody even know what Don Turner is doing these days? Like I haven't, because he's not with Kovalev no more.
He's down low. He's on down low.
Hopefully, yeah. So 2020 we had to put that one down. Track down Don Turner. Neto Lay says yes. Go to the gyms more. That's what we're gonna do. That is definitely what we're gonna do.
Oh, that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, HB. Shout out to HB. Said I wouldn't mind seeing Julian Williams versus Earl Spence or Tony Harrison next year. Yeah. I'm hoping for that Tony Harrison fight. That's the one I really want to see. And yeah, there's so few interviews with Don Turner. Absolutely. How is Bernard Hopkins not gotten diabetes fighting Sugar Ray Leonard?
You know, because Sugar Ray Leonard is a big spokesman against diabetes. He sponsors diabetes, talks about exercising, eating right. So I don't know if he's trying to be funny about that. Or he's
it's a play on words.
Yeah.
But going back to the interviews, I'm gonna say probably tomorrow, or before the end of this week, I'm gonna announce the full UK lineup of interviews. So you guys are gonna know the full schedule of what's gonna go down when I'm in the UK. I've already told you guys some of them in the live, so you guys know about 2 or 3 of them.
Right.
But there's about, I think, if my math is correct, I got it right here. I'm not gonna tell you who it is right now because I want to save it for the video. But I think I'm at about like.
Got a lot of things going on when he goes to the UK. We're one busy
2,
man.
3, 4, 5. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. So so far I'm at 5. I'm on 5 confirmed interviews, and they're all notable people. And I believe that once I I get through each of the 5 interviews, then other interviews are gonna come off of those because
Right.
they're all well-known people in the UK.
Exactly.
Okay, I've seen every Don Turner interview, even the podcast he was on. Yeah, we're gonna track down, like, in fact, jot that down for me. Jot that down for me, Dad.
Yeah.
Track down Don Turner in 2020. We're gonna do that. We're gonna track him down, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's up with him, because I want to talk to him again. I really enjoy talking to Don Turner. There was this kid. I don't know if I still have his number, but there was this kid I met when I was interviewing Don Turner, and he actually was doing a documentary on Don Turner.
Wow.
This is like 2 years ago, so hopefully.
She said he's seen a lot of his stuff.
He's like literally he doesn't have a lot of interviews. It's like Stacey
Yeah.
McKinley. Like Stacey
Right.
McKinley doesn't have a lot of interviews either. I have most of them. Like most of his interviews are with me.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Did you see the press conference of Tony Harrison versus Charlo? Bro, both those guys are hilarious. I'm a Charlo fan, but Harrison is living in his head rent free. I made a video about that this morning. Yeah, man, Tony Harrison he's becoming the pound for pound king of boxing. Trash talk.
Talking smack.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
Who would you take over? Who could take over the 140-pound division after Taylor or Ramirez? Mario Barrios. Who was that one guy's name? There was a guy that fought on the Lomachenko undercard that I really like.
Who could take over?
Arnold Barbosa. I like Arnold Barbosa. I think he'll be a candidate to do that. Yeah, Arnold Barbosa. Barrios be in the running. Someone like that.
Yeah.
Neto Lay says, then do one of your interviews on live so your subscribers can ask some questions too. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that a lot more. I want to do more of that. The only thing with that is, like, you know, to be honest with you guys, my phone is good. Like right now, I'm surprised we've gone 160 minutes without this thing going crazy.
We're gonna get, like I said, when it gets.
But I'm gonna do that probably. I'm gonna attempt that when I'm in the UK.
To do a live interview on a live. That's what he's saying, right? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. He's very knowledgeable about 1940s and 50 fighters. Knows guys like Moses Ward, Nobody, and Hogan Kid Bassi, first Nigerian champion. Yeah, like, see, like, you just drop names I don't know shit about. Like, so I would have to go look up and Google those guys' names. Like, but then again, I know there's names that I know that people don't know. Like, most people don't know who Bob Satterfield is. Like, you know who Bob Satterfield is?
No.
Exactly. You don't know
Not
about Bob
familiar.
Satterfield. Adonis Creed versus not Tony Bellew. Pretty Ricky Conlon. Give me Pretty Ricky Conlon. All day.
Yeah.
Twice on Sunday. I don't know much about them either, to be honest. Yeah, I don't either. Like, when I interviewed Don, like you saw, he's like, would Romo Gonzalez be Harold Dade? How about King Pole Patch from Japan?
Get the fuck
I'm
out
like,
of
who
here.
the f-
I like the part where you said.
I'm not gonna lie to you. He was
you said,
schooling me. Downtown was schooling me.
Oh my God! When he said, I forgot who it was. Marciano was short. Oh, I don't know who it was. He was short.
I'm like,
And he was short, and he will beat the guy.
what separated Holyfield from fighters of today? He fought.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It sounds funny, but it's actually true. Like,
He
fought.
said now he said boxing's changing.
Box has changed to the worst.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think an interview between you and Laugh at First Sight would be fire, bro. You know what's funny? You mentioned Laugh at First Sight. I met him when I was in New York, and he actually he was open to the idea of I don't want to say working together, but like he had the suggestion, like if I ever wanted to give him some videos, he would pay me money to give him videos and whatnot. Again. Yo, can you jot this down, Dad?
Well, yeah,
Jot this down. Jot down.
Write it down here.
Beats, just type in like BT or just put doing more collaborations in 2020. Like, write that down. Thank you, Dad. Is Ryota Murata? Oh, I had to Google Harold Dade. He was a bantamweight champion, 38-32. Fought Pep, beat all-time great Manuel Ortiz. Don Turner knows this shit. Yeah, Don Turner. See, I like being around guys like Don Turner because, you know, most of the time when I do talk about boxing, I'm always around people that I know more about boxing than. So when I get around people who know way more than me, and it's usually like guys who are older, like old heads. I love when I have these conversations about boxing where I feel like I don't know shit.
Like the other day, you were one of the trainers that he heard you speaking. He said, "Man, you really do know boxing."
Yeah, is Ryota Murata next in line for WBA since he's beating all his opponents despite his losses? I don't know. Let's see. Let's go to the rankings. Ryota Murata, I be forgetting about him and Rob Branning and all those guys. Like, Let's see. All right, 160. Yes, he is. He's a secondary champion. So that's it, man. He's secondary. Yeah. So yeah, he should be. He's a secondary champion to Canelo. So I don't see why not. Basketball question: when LeBron went to the Heat, how many people would Florida Warriors jersey and shoes over D Wade? It's like D Wade ain't win y'all a championship. Well, first of all, let me just clarify something. I'm not a Heat fan. In fact, even though I'm from South Florida, the Miami Heat are the only franchise that I cannot stand in this damn city. I can't stand the Heat. But I'm a Hornets fan.
He loves the Celtics.
Fuck the Celtics. I'm a Hornets fan. But to answer your question, yes. When LeBron James joined the Heat, I'll never forget this. Me and my dad went to the beach one day. The day right after he announced he was coming to Miami, we went to Hollywood Beach near Dania.
Yeah.
And everybody on the beach had number 6 LeBron James jersey. I'm like, bro, he hasn't even been a Miami Heat player for 48 hours, and everybody's Heat fan now.
Not just even that.
Kids I went to high school with who were Cavaliers, Laker fans with, all of a sudden, they like the Heat.
Then we went to the malls, and you'd be surprised how many stores changed.
I mean, remember we went to Champs the next day?
Oh my God, everything.
We went to Pembroke Lakes Mall at Champs. They had, we went to Champs. We went to all these sporting goods stores. They had boxes and boxes of this LeBron merch. They were just funneling in.
Crazy.
The next day after he just announced he signed. So to answer your question, yes, everybody was a LeBron fan. And then when he left and was a gutless coward and went back to Cleveland when things got rough, all of his jerseys went on sale.
And one other thing with BT says that LeBron has no excuse for winning. He picks every team. What do you say, Brendan? What do you say about him? Hey, Carmelo's come back. Carmelo's back.
He signed the Blazers. Shout out to
back.
Melo.
So I don't know what non-guaranteed contract means. He's only getting $14,000 plus a game.
Would you like $40,000 plus?
Shoot, I just carry the basketball.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why is 2 Chainz just a feature? I miss the 2 Chainz that would try the most expensive. Yeah, man, like 2 Chainz, they sleeping on me. I miss when they used to call him Titty Boy.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that.
So you don't know about that. You don't know about that. Padad's out the loop.
Yeah.
Do you know who Justin Bieber is?
Everybody knows that.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're not really up on your music like that.
I'll tell him. Start like 5 years later.
He'll tell me a song from like 10 years ago.
I'll be like, "Hey, Brandon, did you hear this song?"
Yeah.
I said, "Dad, it's been around for like 5 years."
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's been, I mean, he's fighting the guy Andrade was supposed to fight Butler or something like that.
Okay.
Talking about Murata. He's fighting. Let's see, Ryota Murata. I still can't believe he lost to Rob Brandt. That shit was crazy. I know he'd be avenged the loss, but
crazy. You just never know.
He lost to Rob Brandt. Cause Rob Brandt looked so hard. Like I remember Rob Brandt when he fought in the World Boxing Super Series, and Jürgen Brähmer schooled him. He had Jürgen Brähmer out there looking like the German Joe Calzaghe.
He's 15.
Schooling him. Stephen Butler, 28-1-1. Yeah, bro. That's who he's fighting next. That's at when is that? December the 23rd. So that'll be one to keep my eye on. Cause he might, who knows? Maybe Canelo finally goes to Japan.
I don't know about that.
He should.
He ain't gonna go nowhere.
Any chance to bring back the Super 6? I mean, I don't think so. Why would they? The World Boxing Super Series is a better version of the Super 6.
Yeah.
How good is Richard Commey despite his 2 losses? I mean, honestly, like when we talk Richard Commey, I don't think he lost Robert Easter Jr. I thought that was one of the many Robert Easter gift decisions. Like Robert Easter's got about 3 gift decisions. He got a gift against Granados, he got a gift against Denis Shabakoff, and he got a gift against Commey. Commey, to me, he's a legit fighter. He's someone that I think will be a live dog in the Teofimo fight. And listen, people may not want to acknowledge him as a threat to Lomachenko, but he's a massive threat to Lomachenko because of the size, because of the reach, and most importantly, because of the punching power. But you know, Commey over time has legitimized himself as a fantastic fighter. You know, beat Ray Beltran in brutal fashion, and he's actually somebody that I feel is probably one of the more underrated fighters in the sport right now as it stands. Someone says, any chance we can get that Virgil Hunter interview? Maybe Pops could interview him. Oh man. Well, listen, I had my little experience with Virgil Hunter in 2017.
Oh my God!
He probably won't even remember, to be honest with you. Personally, I forgot about it because I don't hold grudges, so I forgive him. It's all good. All love that goes out to Virgil Hunter. You know, I still have my opinions on him as a trainer.
Yeah.
But
he's the motivator.
Yeah, man. Canelo versus Murata. might be big at Japan, even with all the fans knowing Murata would lose. It would be big. It would sell out. They could fight at the Tokyo Dome and it would sell out.
That's true.
2 losses, and this from Andres. 2 losses don't break you, especially close losses. No, they don't. They don't. And, you know, boxing fans got stuck condemning fighters for losses because y'all wonder why these fighters duck fights. It's because a lot of you guys condemn them for losses. Like, stop doing that.
Then, like, forget it then, yeah.
But yeah, it's almost 3 a.m. here,
Yeah.
and we have to proceed with life. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign off. It was great talking to you
Thank
guys.
you guys for
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for some more videos coming out soon. We might even go live tomorrow because honestly, there's no fights tomorrow.
So
And normally we go live on Saturdays anyway. So you guys be well, or better yet, as Ty and Booth would say, when it comes to Coogan, be safe. Be safe. So you guys be okay. Live fight reaction coming up next weekend. UK on December the 4th. Stay tuned for the official full interview lineup announcement coming up soon on True School Sports. And like I say in every single video, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dayton. So until next time, take care, guys.